Kristen Booth is suing Jamie Booth in the amount of $1,000. Ms. Booth claims her sister stole money from their joint account and says the defendant used it to start a nail business in their home without asking.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. May all be seated. Both litigants been sworn in.
Thank you. State your name.
Kristen Booth.
Ma'am?
Jamie Booth.
All right, and you are suing the defendant for your sister for stealing money from a joint bank account, allegedly?
Yes, Your Honor.
For $1,000?
Yes.
Okay. Give me some background on your relationship with your sister.
Yes, Your Honor. So...
You're the youngest?
No, she's the youngest.
Oh, okay.
So when Jamie was 16, I was...
You think I'm flirting with you, don't you?
No, Your Honor, I'm not.
All right. Go ahead. I just can't see well. So I couldn't tell who the youngest. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. But Jamie, when she was 16 and I was 20, we opened up a shared account. Our parents thought it was in our best interest to have a shared account so we can put our savings and monitor our spending. And we were doing fine with the account, Your Honor, until...
How long has you all had the account before the incident in question?
We had it for about 7 years.
Okay. And no problem, no issues, no bounce checks or anything?
None of that, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead.
So she...
How was she as a sister, though? Let's talk about that as well. Not just the money part. I'm more interested in many instances, particularly when they're young people, I'm more interested in their lives. So tell me a little bit about her.
Of course,
Has she been a good student all her life? Was she troubled? You tell me.
Jamie is... I love Jamie, Your Honor. She's my sister, of course, but...
Did I ask you that?
Yeah,
No, I didn't ask you that. I said, how has she been?
She is a little, how do I put it?
You don't even know. Let me hear from you, young lady. Tell me about yourself.
I feel I'm a very experimental person. I love to experiment with things like my hobbies and just trying to figure out the person that I am and what I like. Well...
Were you a good student?
Oh, of course, yeah. A very good student. But up until college, it got a little... I feel I got a little stressed out being in college as I went to college for 2 years and then I stopped going for about a year.
Why? Oh, because of the stress?
And because of my grades, they started to drop.
Why? Because of your hobbies? Because of a man?
No, I was just not focusing as much on school. I was more worried about work and making money.
What were you focusing on?
On work and making money.
And how did that work out for you?
Not too good.
Right. So you made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
What about going back? Or do you owe loans and therefore you can't go back until you pay your loans off? That's usually the case once you drop out.
I did have to pay loans back, but my parents had been helping me financially a lot of my life. And especially even when we had this account, which is why during the account I didn't put much money into that because it was my parents.
What are you doing now?
I went back to school. I stopped going for a year, but I went back. And my major at first when I went was psychology. And when I came back, I changed it to business because I wanted to be a therapist. But I figured I'm such a sensitive person, therapy probably isn't for me. But I'd rather be an entrepreneur.
And let's talk about the money now, ma'am. I know that's your thing. Go ahead. That's all you're here for. What?
So... since we're sharing this account, when she's going back to school, she asked if she can live with me. I said, that's fine, of course. You know, her school was closer to my house. And I said, hey, if you want to live with me, since we have this shared account, we can use that for household expenses, groceries, and anything we need within the house. She agreed. I even have a text message just saying that she was fine with that, and she forgot we even had the account. I can show you that if you would like. Okay. So... a month into her living with me, we're doing great. We're going to movies, having fun, going to brunch, fun things. And I told her I'm going on a work trip for 10 days. Before I leave, I deposit $1,500 into the account. I got an extra bonus. I just wanted the money to be in somewhere safe so I don't have to worry about it. And a couple days later, I get a notification on my phone saying that she withdrew $1,000 from the account. So I immediately call her, hey, there's something going on with the house, did a pipe burst, what happened? She tells me that she is renovating my spare room for her personal nail business and she has these clients. Yet she never mentioned this to me before I left, and she's using the $1,000 that I put in to fund her personal business, and I didn't think that that was fair.
All right. How much was in the account at that time?
At the time, it was $3,010.
And what was it intended to be used for?
Only household expenses, Your Honor.
All right. And when you approached her about the $1,000, what did she say?
She said that since it was a household expense, and she's using the spare room, that she had the right to take the $1,000 out. But that was for her personal business, Your Honor, not a household issue.
And how did it hurt your account, or did it hurt your living?
It didn't, but at the same time, Your Honor, we're using this account for household expenses. I want to leave a good amount of money in there, a cushion, just in case something does happen.
Let me share a secret, Richie. If you let her use that $1,000 to establish a business in the house, which I'm so proud a young lady wanted to do that, I promise you, not only would you get that $1,000 back, and if you helped your little sister who was living with you to grow that business, you would get tens of thousands. How about that? But we'll give you a little $1,000 back, right?
Right.
And I'll help you on the other end so we can grow that business. Because I believe in her. From what I've already heard, I want to invest with you. So I don't think I can do that from this point of view as the judge, but I don't know how I might do it, but I might want to invest with you and give her a little $1,000 back. And we go into business together.
Right, we'll make way more than $1,000.
Right, we bring our bag right in front of her. Got that bag! Go ahead, young lady. So what did happen? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I took out the $1,000, but that month I had.
Why didn't you ask, though? That was the mistake. What is the policy on either of you in withdrawing money on this joint account? Do you have to have mutual approval between the two?
We
Yes, Your
never
Honor.
discussed that.
We-
That was
You
never
had the
discussed.
account for 7 years. It had to be discussed.
We discussed it, Your Honor.
In those 7 years, as I said, my parents, they were funding me.
Okay.
So I hadn't really been using that account. It was mainly her using
Got it.
So the money, mainly the money put in for about maybe 6 years was all from her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so you didn't think that it was necessary to ask?
No, because I had deposited $1,200 in that month, so I contributed.
All right.
So technically it was my money.
1,200 of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you make a good point there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yep. And there were you don't have the understanding that you needed her approval.
Right.
All right. And what did you do? Tell me about your business. What is the business and how's it gone? Tell me.
It's a nail business, and I renovated the room. I didn't do anything major. I painted the walls, which if she didn't like it, she could paint back over. That's no harm. So I painted the walls. I added a desk. I added some chairs. I got some supplies for myself and my business, and then I added small stick and peel tile to the floor. Stick and peel. You could peel off. It was nothing major to the room. And
Why didn't you take that money and buy you some outfits and go become a stripper?
Because this was an investment.
Why didn't you do that?
This was an investment.
Sis, yeah, would that be all right with your sis?
That would not be all right.
No, but that might have been one of the things that a young person of her age would have chose to do. But instead, she chose to get her education. She chose to be innovative. She chose to get equipment to attract strippers to give her money to do their nails.
Yes, sir.
And that's my point I'm making is that, and that's why I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Young people your age, that young ladies, that's not where their head is. Their head is who has that bag.
Exactly.
I'm going to the club looking for the bag. And no, I don't take the $50 tips. You can't tip me 20 because you see how cute I am. She could have did all of that. But instead you invested in yourself.
Exactly, and I tried to explain that to her. It was an investment in myself, and I'm going to make that money back. It's $1,000. It's not the end of the world.
Your Honor, the problem is she said it was a hobby. She didn't think it was more of a career goal. I was fine with helping her. I would have said, hey, if we can sit down, let's come up with a plan. What are the steps that we're going to take to actually make this a successful business?
Was $1,200 over hers?
She did deposit $1,200 the beginning of the month, Your Honor.
And then took $1,000 the same month. So $200 is still in there of the money she contributed that month.
But I also contributed $1,500 the same week
That
that
should
she
still
took
be
out.
in there, right?
It should be.
Okay. Well, unless you know any different, all she's done is withdrawn $1,000 of what belonged to her.
But that also was my money too, Your
No,
Honor.
it wasn't. She deposited $1,200 in her ownership. Y'all got a joint account, but that doesn't mean joint ownership. I'm sorry. What we do know is she put in $1,200, took out $1,000. Therefore, I'm dismissing your claim, and I'm going to encourage you to continue. And I'm proud of you, and don't let anybody get in the way of you and your dreams. All right?
Thank you
Good
so
luck
much,
to you.
Your Honor.
Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Farley Sanchez is suing Max Garcia in the amount of $1,000.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may all be seated.
Mr. Sanchez claims his roommate is to blame for the death of his pet tarantula and says the defendant needs to pay up.
State your name.
My name is Farley Sanchez.
My name is Max Garcia.
All right, and sir, you're suing the defendant for $1,000, alleging your former roommate owed you this money for killing your pet tarantula.
That is correct.
All right. Start with you. How long you all been friends and roommates, etc.? Give me some background.
So we met each other on an online message board for people who are seeking roommates.
Okay.
We met each other on there, started chatting, and it went from there. You know, he's a very clean person. He knows how to follow a cleaning schedule. He pays his bills on time. So there was no problems there at all.
You share that opinion?
To some extent, I feel like throughout our entire time I had to compromise. A friend told me about looking into the messaging boards to find possible roommates, and so that's where I met Farley.
Now, how did you determine that he would be a suitable roommate? How do you decide out of the message board who to contact?
I practically did like cold emails to a bunch of the people that were in the messaging board, and Farley was one of the first people to message me back. And so when we got in contact, I kind of got a feel for his personality. It was a bit cookie,
Okay,
but
oh, so you put it on the message board, and then they contact you back.
there was a bunch of listings, and I saw Farley's.
Now, I'm trying to figure this out because his mama been threatening to put me out.
Okay.
His mama, so I'm gonna need to find out how to.
I'll send you the link.
You'll send me the link, my man. All right, because I'm about to get put out. But no, so how do you vet each other?
So we met up and we just talked it through. I had a feel that he had a driven personality, something that I'm pretty much driven when I was in college. He had passions, and he told me his love for animals. And for me, I felt like I needed some kind of change. I didn't grow up with any pets or animals, and so I felt like when he proposed the idea to bringing his spider and his hermit crabs, I felt like maybe it's a challenge that I'm willing to take. And so,
Did you know tarantulas were poisonous? Did he tell you that part?
Farley told me that his tarantula wasn't poisonous at all.
Oh,
It was
wasn't?
defanged.
Okay.
Yeah,
Defanged.
so it
All
couldn't
right.
hurt. It couldn't hurt a fly.
And how did things go, in your opinion, while you all were living there?
I guess warming up to each other's presence. For me, it's been a while since I've lived with any other person other than myself, and so I think in my head I was just trying to form a friendship.
Okay. Can you tell me about your creatures? I don't know how you might refer to them. I don't want that.
Okey-doke.
Insect might be diminishing, so I don't
You
know.
can go ahead and say insects, arachnids.
No, just say spider. I'll say what
You
it
can go ahead
is.
and
Call
say
him by
spider.
his
Let's go.
name. What,
Yeah.
does he have a name, or
Yes,
did he? God bless his soul.
name, yeah, it was Julius.
Julius. All right.
yes.
So tell me about Julius. What happened there?
So Julius was this gorgeous Brazilian jewel tarantula.
You have a picture?
Yes, actually.
Let's see it, please, Amir.
Yeah, so I had purchased him for around $1,000. I had saved for
Really?
months to get him.
Cool.
Yeah, they're not cheap. No, they're not. They send them from Brazil, I guess, so
Okay.
they're not cheap. I saved up for a bunch of months. I got him. I had him for 5 years before I moved in with the defendant over here, and basically, I had a good life. I was very happy with him. I was happy with my other two pets as well.
What were they?
I had two hermit crabs. Which also is, I had two down to one.
So you were down to one because of an incident early?
Yeah, another incident with the defendant.
He killed your crab too?
Yes, he did.
What's the matter with you?
I didn't grow up with any pets. I don't know how to deal with animals at all.
Well, then leave him alone.
Well, he gave me this responsibility that I didn't originally wanted to do, but I did him a lot of
But
favors.
he asked you to care for them?
I did, Your Honor. 3 months into us living together, I went to go spend the weekend at my mother's place. She does not like the spiders. Like I said, she hates insects and stuff, so I left my pets at home. I asked Max if he was able to look after them for me, and he said yes, he agreed. I gave him a printout of very detailed instructions on how to take care of them. So I come back, I go at a checkup on my hermit crabs, Luke and Leia. That was their names. And Luke is all dried up. He's dead in his water dish, which is empty.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
I don't know the difference between bold and non-bold letters.
Oh,
in this
yeah, well,
way.
you got a problem. Go ahead.
My point exactly.
Submit. Did you graduate?
And later,
I was explaining to the team what we were going to do next. He did not like it, and he was very aggressive.
So what did he do wrong? This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Farley Sanchez, who was suing Max Garcia for negligence.
I left him very clear instructions that they need to be given water every single day. There's no compromising with that. You have to give them water or else they dry up and die. He, I guess, forgot to give them water for one of the days, maybe on
First
Sunday.
of all, did you get a list?
Yeah, he gave me instructions.
And did it say have water frequently available or
in bold letters?
often?
In bold letters.
Well, what happened was
In bold letters?
Well, I don't know the difference between bold and non-bold letters
Oh,
in this
yeah, well,
way.
you got a problem. Go ahead.
My point exactly.
Submit. Did you graduate?
I did graduate, but the thing is that I have a lot of things going on. I'm working. I actually did go back to school recently. I'm going to grad
Tell
school.
this teacher how to see something that's bold.
Well, there's a lot of things that are going on in my mind, and I'm compromising a lot of my time to cater to Farley's needs and his wants. And of course, I took in the favor.
A lot of time. One weekend, he asked you to keep his creatures or his pets, and you wouldn't even give him water, and you claim you don't know whether it was in bold or in regular caps.
Unfortunately, living in Perry isn't too cheap, and so I have my mind on my job and my education, and so...
Why didn't you tell him that before you agreed to house sit?
I did. So
you said, I got my mind on my education and on my this and that and the other, so I don't have time to care for the crabs or your, what's your crab name?
Hermit
I don't want
crab,
to disrespect them. Hermit crabs. I don't have time to take care of your hermit crabs.
Well, it's not even that. It was more that I didn't want to be the reason why he didn't get to see his mom during that weekend, since it's been a while since.
So you took that responsibility.
I did, and he asked me for the favor, and so I took it in, despite my busy schedule, because again, I didn't want to take away from that experience that he had with his family.
And you failed to give the hermit crabs water, and they died. That's what happened?
Yes.
All right. Now tell me what happened with the spider.
Okay, so then the incident with Julius was one day I come home and I notice that his enclosure is slightly ajar and he's not in there. He's gone. I look all over the place. I look under his rock. He's gone. I look all around the living room. I'm freaking out at this point. So I knock on Max's door and I ask him, I was like, have you seen Julius? Can you help me look? We both tear up the whole apartment looking for him. Nowhere. He's nowhere to be seen. I'm pretty upset, but I decide to just give it some time. He'll probably turn up. So around the week goes by. I come home from work. It's pretty late at this point. And I'm hungry, so I go to the kitchen to get myself a bowl of cereal, just a quick snack before bed. I open it wrong, and it all spills all over the place. But I go, and I'm going to vacuum it up. I check that the vacuum is still full.
It's the first time you touch a cleaning supply.
Wow.
So he never cleans, huh?
No, not
That
really.
is not true, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
We have a schedule. Anyways, I go and look inside, and I see Julius in there, crumpled up, dried up, amongst the Cheeto dust, amongst the dust bunnies. He's dead. He's out. I start freaking out. I start hyperventilating. I'm like, my poor pet. I take him out. I walk him over to Max's room. I knock on him and I show him, you didn't tell me that you vacuumed. I specifically asked him not to vacuum
You did?
Yes, after I found out that Julius was missing, I asked him not to vacuum. He was supposed to vacuum that Thursday because we work on a schedule, and I told him not to vacuum. And but apparently he tells me then, that's when he tells me that he had actually vacuumed that Tuesday, the very same day that he went missing.
You arrived home Sunday.
Yes, this Sunday, that is from the hermit crab incident. I arrived home.
That's a different day.
Yes,
yeah.
this was on a Tuesday that this happened.
Okay. Sir?
So I wasn't working on Tuesday. I had the day off. I work at a grocery store, and going back to school, I was preparing for my very first quiz of the summer semester. And so I thought that it would be a great idea to get ahead on my chores and to do my part of the cleaning, which was to mop the kitchen and to vacuum the living room.
Did you leave the lid open? That's who's culpable here.
What was that?
Did you leave the lid open?
I was in charge of the spider. He was the one who actually left the lid open.
Sir,
in
did
his
you leave the
enclosure.
lid open?
I don't remember leaving the lid open, but I will admit that it's possible that I might
Who
have.
typically handles the lid?
That is me. He was my
That is
spider.
not his. You rarely, if ever, handle the lid.
And after the incident with the hermit crabs, he didn't want me getting anywhere near his pets, which I understood.
Sir, the person who left the lid, who allowed access for the spider to leave, is the one culpable, sir. Had the lid been on, as it is supposed to be, spider wouldn't have escaped. You left the lid open. Even if he didn't vacuum and hit it, he could have stepped on it. You could have stepped on it.
See, when I realized that he was missing, I told him, like, let's all be super careful when we're walking here. Let's not vacuum. And the reason is that he could have told me that he vacuumed that day.
The question here is negligence. Who neglected to live up to their duties? And it was you. And I'm going to have to dismiss your claim. Good luck to you.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I just wanted to get justice for Julius, but it's okay.
I'm very satisfied that justice was served, and I'm happy that I could now live my new independent life and making sure that I don't have any roommates just like this.
Coming up.
He knew that it was going to hit my face, and I felt very threatened in that moment. He was very aggressive.
I don't believe that. You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Closed captioning provided by...
This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Bonnie Kaminsky is suing Griffin Costa in the amount of $2,950. Ms. Kaminsky claims her soccer teammate threatened her during a game and says her nose was broken after Mr. Costa deliberately kicked the ball at her.
Just state your name.
Bonnie Kaminsky.
Sir?
Griffin Costa.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $2,950, alleging your teammate kicked the ball that broke your nose, playing, I guess, soccer of some sort.
Yes.
Start with you.
I am a team captain for an adult league, co-ed league, that we meet every Wednesday night. We've been on this team for 2 years, and Griffin joined recently, and everything changed. We had such a good vibe. When Griffin came on, he just decided to ruffle up the team. He would always gossip and was hitting on all the girls and making them uncomfortable. Basically, we had this incident where we were losing. He hates losing. We both have played soccer on teams for our college. Him and I got into a very heated argument. I was explaining to the team what we were going to do next. He did not like it, and he was very aggressive.
So what did he do wrong?
Well, during the argument, he said, "Watch." He knew where I was standing, and he directly hit the soccer ball at the post, and he knew that it was going to hit my face. And I felt very threatened in that moment, and he was very aggressive.
I don't believe that. Let me hear from you.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry, ma'am. I just don't believe you.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I
well-
don't believe this man is that good or figured he was that good. He'd kick it directly at you if he wanted to harm you. Go ahead.
Coming up.
She said you were disruptive to the team. You hit on all the women. Did any of the women take offense?
Absolutely not, sir.
He's blatantly lying.
Tell me.
Yes. Many of the girls, he asked me out, and I rejected him. So he's lying.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Closed caption. Mathis Court is back with the case of Bonnie Kaminsky, who is suing Griffin Costa for medical expenses.
two
Now,
things
give me
I
the
love
other
in my
stuff.
life.
She said you were disruptive to the team. You hit on all the women. Let's start there.
Okay.
Did any of the women take offense?
Absolutely not, sir.
No
if
one-
they did, I would have jumped off
Did
that
they
team
complain
myself.
to you?
I would
That
have
is
jumped
not
off that team
true. That
myself.
is- he's blatantly lying.
Tell me.
Yes, many of the girls he asked me out and I rejected him. So he's lying.
But did he ever go back to any that said no?
Well, no.
All right. Let me hear from you. What happened?
Yes, sir. So the question in play and what resulted in that, look, I understand the point of the game and the point of her organization, which is really great, was to, make friends and whatnot, but as far as encouraging victory and whatnot, she didn't have that.
Yeah, you felt you were competing. She felt she was just having fun.
Exactly.
So I can see how that would
So,
be.
with that being said, I can only bite my tongue so many games, and in this particular play in hand, she designed a terrible play to begin with. It hadn't worked all day. And in this particular play, the ball got turned over. The opponent scores. As a result, I'm just kind of fed up. At which point and then at that point, we get into this verbal kind of disagreement where she starts declaring that I need to start thinking with my head instead of my other head, which I thought was inappropriate.
Yep.
Accusing me of a midlife crisis because I come on the team and hit on the girls on the other team. Not that that has anything to do with the game. And so I said to her, watch. Meaning that, okay, you don't think I can get that? You don't think I can get that? Watch me get that.
Girl's
number.
Okay.
Yeah. And nothing to do with the game. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little showboating into it. She calls a play, I say, nah, scratch that. I'm going to take the ball, I zigzag, I do what I do.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Promotional
Court with Judge Mathis.
I kicked the ball with a lot of velocity. That's the point of the game. I played university, she played university, and she acts like she hasn't even played. So the ball goes, boom, ricochets off the goal. And I'm not going to lie, when it hit her in her nose, there wasn't a whole lot of empathy, especially after what she had just said.
Yeah, ma'am, the question is intent, and I don't believe he intended to do that. I don't believe he perhaps even had the skill to do that.
Fair
to
enough.
Point a direction at the pole and then know that you're going to be placed exactly where the ball is going to ricochet off of. Because in the game, don't you move around?
I don't move around.
Yeah, you move around. So in order for him to have targeted you to do it, you would have to stand still because he knows exactly where you're going to be standing. So he knows exactly what part of the pole to kick it on, and he knows exactly where that part of the pole sends the ball. And he says, she's going to be standing right there. So I'll just, no, you're not going to be standing right there. As you said, you move around. Everybody moves around when they're playing, ma'am. That was an unintended occurrence when you were playing sports. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I'm going to give you two a chance to have some final words with each other.
Personally, I think her nose looks a lot prettier.
Guess I won't play ball with little boys anymore.
Grab your belongings and head this way.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
I don't know where you've been, but you're going to respect this courtroom. My life has proven that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. From a jail at this court, you look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Jen Kighton is suing Kathy Lanham in the amount of $3,200.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may all be seated.
Miss Kighton claims she invited her friend to a music festival and says Miss Lanham stayed in their room, then ran up a huge room service bill after a run-in with an ex-boyfriend.
State your name.
Jen Kighton.
Ma'am.
Kathy Lanham.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $3,200, alleging your friend bailed out on a bill for hotel room service.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Start with you.
Kathy has been my friend, well, my now former friend, but Kathy was my friend for years. We met 3 years ago in college. I trusted her. I told her everything. We went everywhere together. A year ago, I invited her out to the club with me and my brother. They hit it off and started dating. They dated for about 4 months and broke up in the summertime. She was heartbroken. And
after 4 months? 120 days? Go ahead.
Then, that summer, the same summer she got broken up with, she lost her job. I got invited to go to a music festival in Palm Beach, Florida, and I invited her to come with me. I invited her 2 weeks before the festival began, and then a week after that, I found out that my brother was going to the same music festival but staying in a different resort. When we got to our hotel, we checked in and went to the pool, and even though he told me that they were staying in a different hotel, we saw him there with his new girlfriend. She obviously was not okay with the situation, and I told her, I'll go back to the room with you, but she just said whatever, and she went back to the room, and I said hi to my brother. She refused to leave her hotel room for the entire duration of the festival.
How many days was that?
That was 4 days that she was stuck up in the hotel room. Then...
Did you suggest counseling to her?
I tried to be as best of a friend as I could. I tried to offer to come with her, console her.
That doesn't sound healthy. In fact, that sounds dangerous. For someone to be in a relationship for 120 days, and they're so distraught that at the thought of seeing the man again, they seclude themselves in a room for 4 straight days. Does that sound like normal?
No, Your Honor.
Right, so when something is not normal, that means the opposite is abnormal. But that analysis makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All
yes,
right.
Your Honor.
The judge said that. Just use your own mind. Don't take my word. Use your own logic. Normal activity, abnormal activity. A normal person, an abnormal person, because they do abnormal things. But go ahead. Let me hear from her, and then we'll get back to the point in which you're at. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, as Jen stated, we've been friends for 3 years, and I really counted her as one of my sisters almost, because I could trust her with everything. She knew about everything with her brother, and she was even afraid that I'm going to call it on our friendship because he really did me wrong in summer.
How did he do you wrong?
I loved him very deeply, and I think she knew that he didn't love me as much or at all.
Were you perhaps, how do you put it, was this your first time intimacy?
Yes.
As well?
Yes.
Okay, so this is your first time with intimacy. I can see how you would be a little broken up. All right.
So Jen knew about all this, and I...
Taking your virginity, let's make it very clear. Is that...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I can see now how you would be highly upset.
Exactly. And so he broke up with me, which was very unexpected to me, and of course I was heartbroken, but Jen was there for me during that time. A week later I lost my job, and since I was so beside me, she said, hey, let's go on a girls' trip. That was exactly 2 months after Brett broke up with me. It was all good. She even let me know, as you can see in the text messages, that he's going to be in Palm Beach at the festival, which was fine with me because the festival, there's thousands of people, so the possibility of me running into him was very low. So we checked in that Monday morning, and I went upstairs, and she went ahead of me, and I took a massage because the trip was very long. So I go to the pool where we expected to meet each other, but instead of running into her, I ran into her brother, and his new girlfriend.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
A little room service? No, that's very vague.
I said that she could order one meal.
And now you're changing your story.
And later,
why did she want to be written up? Just because of who
she wanted a media write-up to get engagement to the event, to come to her humanitarian ceremony.
I know nothing about a humanitarian ceremony. I know nothing.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Jen Keighton, who is suing Kathy Lanham for bad debt.
The problem was that we had our week planned. We went to dinner one day, or we wanted to go to the festival the other day. And so instead of doing that, she wanted to hang out with her brother and his new girlfriend and suggested for me to do the same.
What did she tell you? What type of things did she say she wanted to do with them?
She wanted to go to the festival, to the same concerts, to the same artists with them. Yes. And I
Is that true, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
She told you that, or you assumed that?
No, she told me that she wants to spend time with her brother and his girlfriend because it would be rude to ignore him.
But did that mean going to these events like you just said?
Together.
Did she say that specifically, or did she say, I want to spend time? Spend time might mean leave you in the room, go down and have dinner with them, or whatever, for 2 hours over the whole trip and never see them again.
No,
did she specify?
That day, she wanted to go to dinner and together. There's separate restaurants, but she wanted to go to dinner with them together with me. And
well, if you don't want to go, don't go. So what else?
Exactly. So I didn't go, and I ordered room service.
What else, ma'am?
The next day, we went to the festival, or she wanted to go to the festival with them together. And the day after.
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
You wanted to go with them?
I said that I wanted.
You expected her to go?
No, I said that I wanted to take time to talk and hang out with them at the concert, Your Honor.
Well, that does mean you're going to have her in the face of your brother and his girlfriend. You're going to have her right there after he's taken her, after he's done perhaps the most damaging thing that a man can do. Take a woman's virginity and within a few weeks abandon her. And, this is something that was sacred and precious. And, you thinking you got to think a guy going to be around for a couple of years, at least, perhaps forever. Yes, she had a reason to be emotionally distraught when she saw him. Thinks about how special what she had is now gone, and the fool who took it is right there, and I got to look at it? No, I wouldn't want to either. So, yes, I'm with you on her wanting to go to the festival and socialize with him and his girlfriend. I'm with you all the way. Anything else on that?
No, I think
that was enough. Yeah. So
enough.
What did you do in response?
So in response, of course, I didn't go with them to the festival because I can't be around with him for hours. It's not just an hour like dinner. It's the entire day.
Yep.
And you can't really get out of there. There's
they're going to be standing there having fun.
Exactly.
She's going to be on his back when she can't see, and he's going to be holding her up. And then you sitting there.
My favorite artist is on. It's our song.
Yeah, right. They're going to go, baby, this is what we met on. This is our favorite song. Right.
Yes.
She wanted you to
witness all that. So instead, I stayed in the room and ordered room service because, I have to eat. Ordered some champagne, and she never even checked in on me except at night when she came back after the festival. And she now thinks it's my fault, but I didn't have another choice because our flight was booked. I couldn't go anywhere. I stayed in the room and ordered the room service, which unfortunately summed up to $3,200.
How many days, though? That's what I'm saying. I looked at the amount. I'm like, how many days? 3,000.
I believe it was 7 days and not 4. So it wasn't a whole week.
I don't know, 30, that's still $500 a night. That's $500 a day.
She did say champagne, bottle of champagne, she said.
The top echelon, ace of spades.
Your Honor,
caviar, probably.
If I may, she didn't just buy a glass of champagne. She spent $500 on champagne alone.
She was toasting to something. Maybe she was toasting to him having a new girlfriend and out of her life.
Also, it was Jen's decision to be in a luxury spa, hotel, whatever, resort.
What was the agreement originally about splitting the cost of the room?
The original agreement was that we were going to split the cost of the room, and because she was upset, I basically...
Split it in half?
We were going to split it in half, yes.
Okay.
And then... when she was spending most of her time alone, I told her, hey, you can order a little room service and we'll maybe split the cost of a couple meals.
You got to be more specific. Maybe split the cost, a little room service. No, that's very vague.
I said that she could order one meal.
And now you're changing your story. All I'm going to conclude, ma'am, is that you definitely charge too much. I'm sorry, you charge too much on there.
I'm sorry, too.
7 days, was it 7 or not?
It was 4 days that she was in the hotel room.
Yeah, I can't trust what you say, ma'am. You keep double backing back and forth. In fact, you're a little insensitive as well as a person. So I'm not sure your credibility is not as high as hers. I'm going to grant you $700. That would represent $100 a day, which I think is reason. I'm sorry. I'm going to deduct $700, and $3,200 minus $700 is. You got it, Amir?
No. $2,500. Yeah. $2,500.
$2,500
Yep, thought of that
is your
myself.
judgment. $2,500 is your judgment, ma'am. You should have only taken $700 worth of room service over the course of 7 days. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. Defendant has been ordered to pay $2,500.
Well, you have very expensive taste, but this time you bit off more than you can chew.
I thought we were best friends, but you appear to be a disloyal sister.
Coming up.
They weren't really doing the interviews that
You didn't like the way the media outlets did the interviews.
They weren't doing
You found it every way you can not to pay this woman.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Closed captioning. Erica Coleman is suing Serena Evans in the amount of $1,250. Ms. Coleman claims she hustled to provide last-minute PR services for an award ceremony and says Ms. Evans refuses to pay the remaining balance that is owed.
State your name.
Hi, my name is Erica Coleman.
Ma'am?
Serena Evans.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $1,250, alleging she owes you this money for the balance on a public relations contract?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, start with you.
I have met the defendant through a personal referral. She reached out to me as a client wanting to have some media coverage for her award ceremony.
What do you do?
So I am in public relations, so I give media coverage to people's events.
You do press releases and press coverage.
Press releases and press
coverage. Okay.
Yes. So I met up with her assistant and we drew up a contract stating everything that she wanted.
For what? Wanted for what?
So she wanted a media write-up. She wanted socialites. Excuse me?
About what? Why did she want to be written up? Just because of who
she wanted a media write-up to get engagement, to get people to come to the event, to come to her humanitarian ceremony.
I know nothing about a humanitarian ceremony. I know nothing. She was doing what type of event?
She was doing a humanitarian event. Award ceremony.
And
she hired me to give her some media services, some media coverage for the whole event. I had 3 news outlets out there. We had photographers, we had interviewers, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was the description of our agreement.
Okay. And did you provide those things?
I did.
Coming up.
That's why I hired.
Socialites don't go places where they don't know the people.
Right, but that's why I hired Ms. Coleman.
She knew the socialite?
Yes, but what she brought was seat fillers.
You're watching Mathis Court. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Erica Coleman, who was suing Serena Evans for non-payment of services.
Let me hear from you.
No, hi, I'm an event coordinator, and so I was hired by my client to serve the city. I'm having an award show, and so I wanted to have recognize all the people that have brought our smaller town together to help put our town on the map.
What town is this?
New Bern, North Carolina.
Okay.
The thing is my public relations canceled on me last minute, so I only had a number of weeks to get this pulled together, but it has been planned 6 months in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So
how many weeks did she have?
2 to 3.
Okay.
2 to 3 weeks.
All right. You hired her 2 weeks before a 6-month planning event.
Yes.
And one of the miracles. Go ahead.
We got an agreement to provide media coverage.
Anyone have the agreement I can look at?
Yes, I have the agreement.
Let me see it, please, Amir.
Okay, but her specific job was to provide socialites within the city, people that who's who within that city, because we needed exposure.
So you don't want to pay her because they didn't come?
Well, no, they didn't come. Not only did they not
know
come.
You.
Right. That's why I hired.
Socialites don't go places where they don't know the people.
Right, but that's why I hired Ms. Coleman.
She knew the socialites?
Yes, but what she brought was seat fillers, maybe 2 seat fillers.
What did you mean by she put 2 people in?
The people that came with her they were seat fillers because we're from the same town, and I didn't know who they were. They didn't look like celebrities or the judge or the mayor or anybody that I knew.
So the person who bailed on you, could you get their list and numbers for the people?
Well, I tried to, but they weren't available.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. You're dissatisfied because she didn't bring you socialites and the mayor, and who else? What is your other problem with it?
The interviews, I mean, there was 3 media outputs, but they weren't really doing the interviees that
you
they
didn't
needed.
like the way the media outlets did the interviews.
They weren't doing
You found it
interviews.
every way you can not to pay this woman.
$1,250 is probably more than adequate to pay for what I got. I don't think it's warranted to get another $1,250 when I don't feel like it was a success. I think it was less than. And, for that reason, I didn't want to pay.
Okay. Well, I'm going to order you to pay. I haven't heard a substantial breach in this contract. You, out of your own mouth, you brought 3 media outlets for a little bitty small town event. You had the information on how to give the socialites contacts to her. Judgment for the plaintiff. You didn't have time.
Thank you.
She did best she could with what she had to work with in 2 weeks for something that your other public relations people work on for 6 months. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,250.
Ms. Evans, I told you it was going to work out this way. You should have just paid me like it was in the agreement.
You just
and
didn't
this
do
just
your
could have
job.
been.
You didn't do your job. You didn't do what I
did do my job.
specifically asked
I did my
you to.
job.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
I don't know where you've been, but you're going to respect this courtroom. My life has proven that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. From a jailed youth who had my record expunged to becoming the youngest judge elected.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years. Ma'am, let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Lewis Grant is suing David Hansley in the amount of $600.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may all be seated.
Mr. Grant claims he paid for a ticket, suit, and gas to go to Mr. Hansley's dance event and says he missed the whole thing after the defendant printed the wrong address.
State your name, sir.
Lewis Grant.
Sir?
I am David Hansley.
Give us a background on the case, sir. You're suing for $600 for reimbursement on special event ticket, outfit, and gas. Give me some background.
Well, this gentleman right here, he puts on different dances and different entertainment things. I've been to a couple of them before, but this particular one was a special occasion. It was called a shag dance, okay? The ticket was pretty expensive. It was about $300.
Shag?
Shag, like, you know.
Like they used to wear in your hair in the back with like the shag? That's way old.
No, not like that. Can I show you right here?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just simple dancing where, like, the guy and the girl, they're dancing together. They kind of swing around a little bit there. They might make some little half dramatic moves like that. And it's
kind of like a bootleg ballroom.
Your Honor, I have to say we don't do anything bootleg in my business. I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead, sir.
So to attend this event, it cost me $600. I didn't even get to attend the event. I bought a ticket.
Hold on. How much were the tickets, sir?
I got it right here if you need some evidence here.
You got to look. You don't remember how much you paid?
$350.
$350?
I bought one for myself.
And it cost $350?
That was the man was charging.
To go to a dance?
But he was going to have, he had a full locally catered meal there. Okay, there was prizes. Dancers would.
That must have been strippers for $350.
No, not quite. There was also. I bought a new suit for it. It was $150, and then $100 for gas, and it was supposed to have guaranteed parking for the event. The defendant has sold 150 tickets, okay, and so it was drove.
Let me get to him. Let me get a little background. I got you so far. You brought the tickets, and you said there was guaranteed parking. Start giving me the background. You heard what he said. You give me your side of the background. You promoter. Tell me what you do.
Yes. Okay. My company, D Entertainment Enterprises, we do promote dance events throughout the year, probably about one a month. Now, Mr. Grant here has been a part of our mailing list, and we send out the invitations. He did, in fact, purchase a ticket to be able to come and attend this event. Now, yes, on the bottom of the event, it does say guaranteed parking. But this particular event, we decided to have local television premiere it, which was huge for my company. That would help promote it. I had explained to him that he needed to be there in time, early, so that he could park the vehicle, and there would be plenty of parking.
Okay, I guess that has something to do with the lawsuit, even though I didn't hear that. So let me hear what else you're suing about and how the parking comes into play.
Well, parking had everything to do with it, because on the ticket, we were told that there would be guaranteed parking at the venue. Okay? So I'm leaving home thinking, okay, I'm going to go have a nice time, drive up there. I don't have to worry about parking. But when I get there, it's totally different. Everything was full.
Okay.
At this venue. Everything was full. There's no parking on the street. And so I had tried my best to get to the location, but I had incorrect information on the ticket.
No, they didn't give you the wrong address for the ticket for the party.
They gave me the wrong address, and I
see
wound
that,
up,
please, officer.
Folder.
Let me see that. They didn't give you y'all give him the wrong address of the event?
Your Honor, it was a clerical error, and in fact, it was followed up with an urgent email.
He sent out the email, but I missed it, okay? I'm 80 years old. I'm retired.
Really? You're 80?
I do volunteer work. I got things to do. I don't necessarily check my email.
Hope I look like you at 80.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Judge Mathis. Yes. Getting back to the parking situation, I drove around. I didn't have the right address. It was on Penny Avenue, North Penny Avenue, but I couldn't find it. So I stopped at a gas station. I asked if they could direct me to that address. So the guy was pretty helpful. I was able to find it. I had to drive about 15 minutes longer to get there. And when I get to the event, it's sold out. It's full. No parking on the side streets, anywhere, anything like that. So I got frustrated, to be honest, because I was really looking forward to this event.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
The mothers of the church don't chase you.
I have a little problem once in a while.
The missionary board. The women don't chase you?
No.
You must not have a pension.
And later.
I think when things are in the moment, therefore it hits you harder.
You think you intentionally broke your table as a gesture of niceness?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878.
You're watching Mathis Court.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Louis Grant, who is suing David Hensley for breach of contract.
And see, you know what I was going to do?
What's that?
I was going to talk about you. Now, you could have walked, you could have did that, but you're 80 years old.
Okay, thank you.
When we went to see something, we had to walk a mile. Over at the SoFi Stadium to see something, had to walk 2 miles.
Yes.
What was it?
It was a Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
And you jumped on the bike with the carriage.
Did I ask you all that? Some of y'all walked. So, I get it now.
Okay.
I totally understand that you would not walk too far, and you should not have.
Thank you.
You don't want your joints hurting all in the morning because he didn't had you walk 2 miles when he didn't guarantee you front door entrance with guaranteed valet parking. I'm with you now.
Thank
you. Have him try to walk 2 miles.
Well, Your Honor, he wasn't walking, he was driving. And basically,
he had to walk if he don't have to park. Did you guarantee him?
Well, I did guarantee him parking, but the event was early entrance at 7:30. In the email that I sent him, I explained to him very clearly that the parking would be available until 8 o'clock, 8:30.
You send him a notice by email. How did you even get his email address?
Well, all of our members that are part of my organization have their email registered.
But you expect him to know about the tickets being altered based on an email you were to send him.
That was marked urgent.
Yeah, it might not be urgent to him. I get urgent every day. Now, I know you're a popular man. You probably got plenty of women emailing him all day talking about urgent. It's urgent that I see you. It's urgent that I get over here. Isn't that right?
Not exactly, Your Honor.
Come on.
Not exactly. Maybe a one or two, but not.
All right. They should. Them 80-year-olds should be at the church should be chasing you down. You go to church? You go to church?
Yes, sir.
The mothers of the church don't chase you.
No. Well, I have a little problem once in a while.
The missionary board.
No.
Them women don't chase you?
No.
You must not have a pension. They're going after every man with a pension.
I do have a pension, sir.
Well, yeah, and they know it?
Yes.
Man, you used to be the most popular. You ain't paying attention. Sir, you gave him the wrong address. Why didn't you, if all the tickets had the wrong address, why didn't you advertise it the same way you did when they bought them?
My clerical team sent out the email and contacted everyone in addition
my clerical team, and I have this, and I'm this, and I'm that. So what you doing here with this $600? Your clerical team can't put nothing on it?
Your Honor, I'm mostly here because of the fact of the harassment I received from Mr. Grant.
How?
Oh, numerous phone calls. Over 51 phone calls. Out of 75, 51.
You don't have nothing to do all day.
I'm retired.
You mentioned the wrong one. A retiree here got nothing to do with calling you all day. What type of stuff was he saying? Did he leave messages?
They were, basically threatening type of messages. You know, he wanted his money back. He wanted his money back. A lot of those messages came through, and I understood what was happening. But the excessive 51 messages, in addition to...
Did you respond one time?
I did not.
Well, that's why you got 51. You should have. I don't know who else demanded or asked for their money back because they were given the wrong address on the ticket. But you should have extended that same mass promotion that you did to sell the tickets to say the address has been changed. And you didn't do that. You relied on emails, which wasn't the manner in which people purchased the ticket. You relied on them to read their emails promptly. And you heard the man right here. He got the whole missionary board. He got the ladies that sit up front. He about 20 deep. How you gonna get to your emails? They sending him 10 a day. 10 a day times 20 is 200. He getting 200 emails a day from little ladies in the church chasing down that pension.
Well, he basically was the only complaint. I was having my secretary help establish the connection with him. I did finally receive a phone call from him. I answered it, and we spoke. And he explained to me the situation. Then at that point, he told me he didn't get there till 8:45. And I said to him, well, I'm sorry, 8:45, all the parking spaces were, in fact, taken by that time. And you showed up 45 minutes late.
Due to incorrect information that I had received, and it took me that time, extra time, to get there.
Well, you and I have met before, and I had hoped that if you had a problem, you would have probably came or figured out a way.
He did come to you 51 times.
Phone calls.
Problem you have, sir, if he had purchased his ticket by way of email information, you would probably win today. But he didn't purchase his ticket by email information, so he had no reason to look at anything on his email that might make reference to the event, because he has no frame of reference to an email as it relates to that event. So I'm going to grant him his judgment because you gave bad information and tried to correct it on an email he should not have looked forward to seeing because he had no reason to think he's going to get an email. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day, gentlemen.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $600.
I don't feel I should have to have paid you for the new outfit and for the gasoline. I would have clearly refunded your money for the ticket.
I personally was thinking we were going to work something out where we would split it. but you didn't seem to be amenable to that.
Well, after your 51 calls, it was hard for me to get back to you.
Coming up.
I don't know if Omar is jealous, but his attitude has changed towards me since getting the promotion.
Do you think that may have something to do with your broken table?
I do, Your Honor.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. Mathis.
Eve Taylor is suing Omar Haddad in the amount of $450. Miss Taylor claims Mr. Haddad purposely broke her dining room table during a party and says the defendant was jealous because she got the job promotion he wanted.
State your name.
Eve Taylor.
Sir?
Omar Haddad.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $450 alleging he broke your table playing a game?
Yes, Your Honor. He carelessly broke my dining room table.
Where do you know him from?
We colleagues at work. We worked together for many years in the restaurant industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I recently got promoted about 9 months ago to general manager. And I don't know if Omar is jealous because he has been working there longer than me, but his attitude has changed towards me since getting the promotion.
Do you think that may have something to do with your broken table?
I do, Your Honor, because before we were really cool with each other. Not only hung out outside work, but we've had each other's backs. I consider him a really good friend. That's why about roughly 9 months ago, I had a party at my house to celebrate my promotion. He was invited.
Let me ask what he feels about you and about your promotion, because you're saying you believe he was upset about it so much so that he broke your table. Right in front of you and say, "Look what I'm going to do to your table."
Your Honor,
I don't think he would be. You're not that unintelligent.
No, Your Honor. She got promoted to general manager 9 months ago.
What's your title? I mean, what is your role?
I'm a waiter.
Okay.
And I always supported her. I never did anything against her will or something will hurt her.
How long after you learned of her promotion did the party occur?
Coming up.
You said he intentionally broke your table because of your promotion. That's why we're discussing this whole thing. You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Closed caption. Mathis Court is back with the case of Eve Taylor, who is suing Omar Haddad for property damage.
it was very soon of a celebration because I was so excited.
Very soon. Do you know what that means? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months?
1 week. Without 1 week. Yeah.
All right.
After she got promoted.
So how was he acting during that 1 week prior to the party?
He seemed fine. He seemed normal.
And so
no abnormal
you think he turned bitter at the party?
I think when things are in the moment, therefore it hits you harder.
You think he intentionally broke your table as a gesture of niceness? You say he wasn't angry. What was he then? When someone intentionally breaks your property because you have a promotion that they don't like, why do you think what's their disposition? It's
I think anything is possible. I think bitter and anger can come from a lot of different places.
No, we're talking about this, ma'am. You said he intentionally broke your table because of your promotion. That's why we're discussing this whole thing. That's what you said. So go right ahead, sir. What do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, when I got invited, I came to her house. There was a lot of people, 15-person plus, everybody having fun, everybody's drinking. So what happened is, I was playing the game, and then I believe like somebody spilled something on the floor, and I slipped. And when I barely touched that table, the table went in half, and I was on the floor.
Your Honor, he just said after he broke the table that he believes there was water on the floor, which caused him to slip. So he doesn't even know if the floor was slippery. He just, out of his own words, just said, I believe.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Promotional consideration provided by
Court with Judge Mathis.
There's no fact to slipping. My table, we had crock pots on it, food, right before the game. That table is sturdy. So if I could put all this weight on the table and it doesn't break.
I know what you think. You don't have to keep arguing your point. You've already made it very clear that you think whatever happened to your table, he intentionally did it because of your promotion. You've made that clear. You don't have to tell me any more of your argument. I got your side. I'm very clear. You want me to believe that he did it intentionally because you got a promotion. And I don't believe that. and as such, I have to dismiss your case.
Your Honor,
I do not believe that happened.
Your Honor,
man.
I have receipts. I have pictures.
I know you might have all of that until you're able to prove that he did it intentionally because of your promotion.
Your Honor.
You have something to say in your promotion.
I don't, but
there
Your
you
Honor.
have it. Bye. Claim dismissed. You said this man broke your table intentionally because you got a promotion.
But Your
I think
Honor.
it's ridiculous, and I'm dismissing your case. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I wish I had an extra moment with the judge because I have evidence that shows that it was intentional, and I don't believe that's fair. I needed more time.
Well, I mean, justice has been served, but that
He
wasn't
keeps my money.
cool.
He breaks my table.
Get out this way.
My record expunged to becoming the youngest judge elected.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years. Ma'am, let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Christopher Holland is suing Martin Amaro in the amount of $5,785.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. May all be seated.
Mr. Holland claims he hired an electrician to take down his chandelier and says the antique shattered when Mr. Amaro dropped it.
Judge, both litigants been sworn in.
Thank you.
Something funny?
Yeah, I'd just like for you to slip up and call me Judge when you start coming over to the house.
Okay.
Sounds good to have. See if you can get urge your mama to do it.
Only if you call me officer.
Pastors, and that's the weirdest thing in the world. Bishops, the family called them bishop.
I love it. Just
call by a title.
Officer.
Oh, call you officer. Okay. Yes, state your name.
My name is Christopher Holland.
All right.
And I am Martin Amaro.
Okay, and you're suing the defendant for $5,785, alleging he broke your chandelier.
That's correct.
Start with you.
This is a picture of the chandelier.
Let's see it, please. Now, Amir, unless we have it on the plasma.
Let me give you some background. I purchased the chandelier from a reputable shop about 5 years ago. It's 26 and a half, or was 26 and a half in circumference. And a friend of mine saw this chandelier in a store and said, you got to see it, it looked great in your dining room. So I went and purchased it, and I do have the receipt for $5,785.
All right.
When I bought it, I had it installed in my house in Clarendon Hills.
Okay.
The electrician who installed it came, he brought his apprentice, they had no problem installing it. And then I bought a new house in the village of Oak Park. I moved there, I downsized, so I found a local electrician. I was looking to deinstall the chandelier from my Clarendon Hills home and reinstall it in my new house in the village of Oak Park. He said, sure. So the next day, he was supposed to be there at 9, but he called about 9:30, said, I'm on the way. And I said, most of the furniture is gone. I've got two friends here. One was my real estate agent, and another was just a good friend. So they were there helping me pack up the last few things. He comes in, he asks, where's the breaker panel? I took him to the utility room, showed him where the breaker panel was, and then he came and proceeded to deinstall it. So I was staying there watching. My two friends were kind of watching, but also kind of just packing little odds and ends up. And I watched him. He took the faceplate or the plate off of the ceiling, lowered it. Then he went inside and pull the wires down. He pulled out the wire caps, so I assumed he knew what he was doing. The next thing I know, he's sort of stumbling on the ladder. My friend, who was standing there, also went to steady the ladder, and all of a sudden, the chandelier drops to the floor and crashes. Most of the damage was to the crystals. There were about 30 of them, I think, that were destroyed, and the wrought iron frame was also bent at the bottom where it hit the floor.
What do you think happened? You were standing there. What do you think he did wrong?
Well, what I think he did wrong is he didn't have an assistant with him.
You saw he did not have an assistant.
I thought he knew what he was doing. I'm not an electrician. I don't know anything about being an electrician.
Let me hear your side. What happened?
Yes, Your Honor. Like Mr. Holland has said, he had contacted me the night before. I had informed him on the phone that this was more than a one-person job and that he was only hiring me to install and uninstall at the original house and then install it at the new house. That transportation and that care and moving of the chandelier was all his responsibility, and he'd have to hire somebody for that and the handling of it, which he had agreed to. He told me he would have 2 guys there the next day. When I arrived, both of them were in his age bracket, which weren't necessarily the type of people I assumed that were going to be helping to move furniture and heavy things. Like you said, I came into the establishment. I asked to see the breaker box. I assessed the situation, what tools I was going to need. I went out. I got my ladder. I also got a winch that took the weight, and it was a pulley system with a weight that the weight and wire, the rope was around the chandelier. I had the pulley system, and it was hooked up to the pulley system, and now his 2 friends were there to assist and maneuver. One was holding the ladder, and the other one was underneath, assisting it down, and was going to be on the floor. Now, I don't know what the friend did who was holding the ladder.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
I did not. I said they were there to help me.
Okay, you don't mind if I believe him, do you?
I don't mind.
All right, well, calm down, settle down, because I believe him.
Okay.
And later,
Joy takes offense and then essentially ends our relationship right then and there. And I'm left with the rest of the rent.
Let me hear your side. Do you have one?
Oh, I do.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878.
You're watching.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Christopher Holland, who is suing Martin Amaro for property damage.
I let go of the rope which was holding it, which caused the chandelier to crash, to grab the ladder and balance myself. And if I did not let go of the rope...
How did it crash? If you had it connected to the pulley, well, how did it fall?
Because I let go of the rope. Because his friend had hit the...
Y'all speaking Mandarin to me, but continue.
His friend had hit the ladder with such force that it had tilted it, and because I had to grab my balance and not fall off the ladder because I was 10 feet in the air.
Got it. All right.
I let go of the rope, and it crashed down. So it was his friend who knocked into the ladder, and I have no idea why or how he knocked into the ladder. Because I was up top.
And so you do admit that your friend bumped the ladder?
No. What I admit is that my friend went to the ladder. Maybe the ladder was off or something, but he started to wobble, so my friend grabbed the side of the ladder, probably 4 feet up. But something else I want to correct here, what he said. When I spoke to him before, I did not state that people would be there to assist him. I wouldn't even know about how to go about hiring people to assist an electrician. He's the electrician. My two friends, one was my real estate agent, and I said one was an engineer for the Cook County.
Did you ever tell him you were going to have 2 people there to help?
Right. No, I didn't say that. To me, that's his responsibility. I don't know anything about.
You never told him. All right. Did you ever tell him you'll have 2 men there to help?
I said I'd have 2 men there, probably helping me pack up the remaining things in my house.
You had to tell him about what they're doing for you.
They were there to help him. Not at all.
Why are you? That doesn't sound right. Because why are you volunteering? Who's going to be at your house? It's your house.
No,
everybody else. So why you got to explain to him? Well, I'm gonna have 2 other people there, and they're going to be doing this and that for me. That's
essentially what he said. I said, I've got 2 people
and my point is,
one is my real estate agent. He is helping me to pack up the last few things. There was no furniture in that dining room, not a stick of furniture, nothing. And the two people who were there, neither one of our electricians, neither one.
Why were you all standing around the ladder?
We weren't standing around the ladder.
How was he able to stabilize it?
He jumped over toward the ladder when the ladder started to teeter.
He saw him wobbling.
He saw him wobbling.
And he ran over.
He jumped over.
Okay. What were you all doing 6 feet away?
I'm just sort of standing there because I'm watching.
Y'all just standing there?
Pretty much.
Three of y'all just standing 6 feet away.
I'm watching the chandelier, Your Honor. And what happened was when he's wobbling.
All three of you watching.
I can't say what the other two were doing.
Okay, well, he had to be because he jumped over there. Remember that?
He saw it.
You think he done it without seeing it? You think he did it without seeing it? You're not sure what they did. He had to be looking.
He saw it.
Well then, don't be talking about I'm not sure what they were doing. He was looking.
He tried to stop the ladder from.
That's what you say. He says he was there trying to help. Or accidentally bumping. That's what he said.
My point is, neither two of those men are qualified to help.
I got your point. But he said that that's who you intended to help him.
I did not. I said they were there to help me.
Okay, you don't mind if I believe him, do you?
I don't mind if it's not true.
Well, calm down, settle down.
It's not true.
Because I believe him.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe those two people. I believe out of those two people, they were coming to assist. That's why they were standing around the ladder. You can't explain to me why you all were standing around other than you looking, and the others, they weren't looking. Well, I don't know what they were doing.
I was looking because it's a prized possession.
What were the three people doing there?
Well, my real estate agent was going back and forth between the kitchen because he was packing kitchen items.
So he wasn't there at the time it happened?
At the time it happened, I don't know. He wasn't there.
Oh, you don't know?
Just the guy who's my friend.
You're not convincing me, sir, that he alone caused that damage. Because somehow he caused the ladder to shake and your guy runs over there 6 feet away and further destabilizes it. He had to further destabilize it because otherwise he perhaps wouldn't have failed. He didn't stop it. He didn't help. What your guy did not help, did it? I'm going to answer my question. I got your point. Okay. Answer my question. What your guy did when he ran over, did it help?
Well, the ladder didn't fall over.
But the chandelier fell down.
He dropped the chandelier when the ladder started to go.
So why, if your guy was over there to help?
Well, because he should have had a second person there.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your guy over there to help him. His help did not work.
But he wasn't hired to help him.
That's not the issue. The issue is how it was damaged.
Okay.
And he's saying it was your friend who came over to destabilize it.
And
you say he went over to stabilize it. I'm saying his attempt failed. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come down. If you go to help somebody, it doesn't further break if you're successful. If you go over to help somebody and you're unsuccessful, that's when it breaks.
I think it was too late for him to keep the
he says that's what caused it. And you haven't convinced me differently.
Okay, but my point is...
I know your point. You've given me your point over and over and over. Your case is dismissed. That's my point. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I'm not responsible for hiring your help.
You just want to argue. Look, there's some people in life that all you want to do is fight, man. I did my job. I was hired to do a job. I did my job. And
you did it poorly.
Coming up.
I suggest that she leave. I don't even ask her. I suggest that maybe she just proceeds with her day and does not get in my face any longer.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Brian Olivas is suing Joy Michaels in the amount of $6,000. Mr. Olivas claims his girlfriend abruptly moved out after she saw text messages to his mom that expressed his doubts about marriage and says he got stuck with the rent.
State your name, sir.
Brian Olivas.
Ma'am.
Joy Michaels.
All right. And, sir, you're suing the defendant for $6,000, alleging she owes you this money for moving out before the lease ended?
Correct.
Let's start with you.
I met Joy about 2.5 years ago. Ever since then, we've kind of been in a good relationship.
Good.
The only issue is that I have a problem with my private life or just...
Josephine, that's private? If you go in the bathroom, smoke crack, that's private?
No, not at all, Your Honor.
You ever seen the window open in y'all bathroom?
Yes.
There you go.
It was that one time.
Thank you, ma'am. Now,
Back when I was in high school, I heard something in the kitchen, and I heard you sneaking down there. You were drinking straight out of the Coke bottle, the large one, for the family. That's something private.
Yes, it is, and I got caught.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He just got away.
I'm just saying.
He forgot to close the window.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir. What else do you want me to know?
And we've talked about it, but I have boundaries. My cell phone. I don't allow people to just go through my cell phone without my awareness. She takes information and she chooses to discuss with her own family members. Her sister comes over our place, starts naming messages and quoting my mom. She's just expressing the text messages that were personal in my phone. So what I do is I ask her, and I suggest that she leave. I don't even ask her. I suggest that maybe she just proceeds with her day and does not get in my face any longer. From then on, Joy takes offense, and she decides to storm out right outside of her sister, and then essentially ends our relationship right then and there. And I'm left with the rest of the rent.
Let me hear your side. Do you have one?
Oh, I do.
Coming up. And how did you respond to seeing that?
Well, he says he was heartbroken. Clearly, he didn't even want to marry me.
That's somewhat normal. You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Closed captioning provided by
Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Brian Olivas, who is suing Joy Michaels for breach of contract.
Your Honor, I'm not quite sure why I'm here. This just feels like Brian, again, not being able to take accountability for his own actions. He asked me to check something on his phone. So I did, and my phone was in the other room, and then he accused me of going through his entire phone and freaked out on me. And I saw a notification from his mom. I saw my name, and I know that this is wrong, but I was already just so stressed about it, so I clicked on the message, and he was basically telling his mom that he was having doubts about getting engaged to me. So obviously, I'm freaking out. I call my sister.
Did he say why?
No, he just said he didn't know what he wanted.
What did his mother say?
Well, that's the other thing. His mother was saying it's better to bow out of the relationship now instead of going into a marriage. So God forbid he gets cold feet. His mom is just ready for him not to marry me, which really pissed me off because we all have a really close relationship, and she wasn't on my side at all. So I felt like in that situation, going to someone who's biased in that sense, it didn't feel right to me.
Well, it was a blessing then that you saw it. And how did you respond to seeing that?
He says he was heartbroken. Clearly, he didn't even want to marry me.
That's somewhat normal, that a man he wants to take a second look. I want to do this now because I'm not going to be able to. Am I ready to sacrifice this? That's what he's going through, ma'am, and that's not unusual. And what about leaving? How did that occur?
Well, I think I was sacrificing a lot for this marriage too. You know, like there's things.
But leaving him with the lease, he's saying.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis. Were you a signator to the lease?
No.
Did you all move in together?
Yes.
Okay, so you're part of that household, which was initialized through the lease that he signed. It's like a husband and wife, even though you don't sign the lease. If one signs the lease, both of them are accountable. That's under the husband and wife theory. But if he was depending on you to pay how much a month?
$1,000.
$1,000 a month, and then you abruptly stopped without giving him 30-day notice. You did give him 30-day notice?
No.
Yeah, why don't you think you would have to continue to pay as opposed to leaving him in a jam?
Because I don't live there.
Okay. That's not the law. The law is you must give 30-day notice before leaving, even if it's a month to month. If I were to interpret this as a month to month, it would mean that you would still have to give him notice. And you don't think you have to give him notice because you don't live there. You're thinking you just walk out on the deck and just stick him with the bill all the way through, even though he's been counting on that $1,000 ever since you all have been together. Judgment for the plaintiff, $6,000. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $6,000.
You two have any final words for each other?
It's fine. Moving forward.
I hope you got what you wanted.
Head out this way, grab your belongings, and after you.
mixology. So I handle the feed a lot, so I tend to joke about that matter.
Okay. Let me hear from you about what happened that night.
So I was on a dating app after getting out of a very tumultuous relationship, and I just wanted a companion. He seemed nice, we had good banter on the dating app, he agreed to take me out to one of my favorite restaurants, Smokehouse, all was well. We get to the date, and he was so nervous in the beginning, very fidgety, and I could tell he was just...
At the smokehouse?
Talking. At the smokehouse.
Well, that's what happened when you get high, you get fidgety, don't you?
It was a smokehouse full of meats.
Huh?
It was a smokehouse full of meats.
Oh!
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were talking about where you go and smoke your opium or your weed or whatever it is.
No, it was quite the opposite, actually. A very fancy restaurant.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he started making weird comments about my feet. And the first one was he just complimented my shoes. They were Manolo, so of course a compliment is due. And then he started asking me if I've ever smelled my feet.
If you ever smelled your own feet.
I've ever smelled my own feet. Exactly, that was my reaction too. And I was just, you know, polite, and I was like, haha, what? Anyways, the second comment that was very weird was he asked me if I had toenail fungus. And I just was baffled at a restaurant.
Did you say these things, sir?
I did, Your Honor, yes.
Well, a lot of ladies like humor. When you ask a woman, what do you like most in a man? Oh, good conversation, humor. You just need to stick with the good conversation, because your humor has run her away. And I don't know how many other women you date you've asked about their feet, whether they have toe fungus or have you smelled your own feet. And if you hadn't stopped, you stopped him, right? Because there's no telling where you'd have went from there.
Exactly.
She did not stop me, though, Your Honor. She laughed at it, and we kept enjoying the conversation, at least. I thought she was enjoying it.
She was humoring you.
I guess so.
To laugh, to try to avoid, it was right, to be polite, as she said, to avoid going off on you. And in any event, you have a fetish for fungus, not just for feet, both. It's all right to have a feet fetish. Like, okay, if that turns somebody on, good, then be my guest or whatever. Not my guest, but be somebody's guest. Do it. But this is a whole nother level, sir.
Mm-hmm. And he would not shut up about how much money his parents had and how his parents were investment bankers and mommy and daddy's money. And I was just like, what is happening?
Girls like a financially secure man, so I thought that would help.
Girls like a humble man.
I'm sorry?
Sir, tell me about all this big money.
Well, my parents invest their money in real estate and stocks, and they're very smart with their money.
Go ahead.
They're very smart with their money, so they always said, son, no matter what you do, you always have something to fall back on, which gave me more security to pursue my passion, which is...
Amir, when you see girls, do you start talking about what I got?
Yeah.
Thank you. See? Thank you.
No, I do not. No.
Thank you. He's standing on his own. He's standing on his own game. So tell me about the $1,200. How you lost the job? Why are you blaming her for a job you didn't get?
So after the date, when I reached out to her, she obviously told me that the jokes made her feel uncomfortable, which I apologized. And I said, I'm sorry I made you feel that way.
He proceeded to text me multiple times, making yet another comment about wanting to smell my feet.
Yeah, he's a feet freak.
But it wasn't.
And then I didn't respond.
He ain't just a fetish. He's a feet freak.
Sure
But as soon as she told me they were uncomfortable, I apologized, and I said I wouldn't have talked that way if it made you feel uncomfortable. That was the last time I saw her until I was applying to a new massage job. And I walked to the massage parlor because I had my
That's where you
interview.
get that feet mess. Go ahead.
So I had an interview at this very prestigious massage parlor, and I passed her, and I did not know that she worked there. It's a very awkward encounter, but the interview, I aced. They loved my skill set. I was exactly what they needed.
How do you know?
Because they told me.
Okay.
And she said, you're just the man for the job. We just have to check with your references. Then she asked if I knew anybody who worked there. Like I mentioned, I passed her in the hallway, and I didn't want to say I knew her. But at the same time, I did not want to lie.
But I asked you if you knew anybody that worked there. That's an odd question.
Beats me. So I told the truth. I said, yes, I know of Miss Brady, but I wouldn't really call us friends. I'd say we're more acquaintances. So a few days after, they said you would hear back from us within 24 hours. 2 days later, though, I emailed them because I haven't heard back. And I emailed asking what the job status was, and they said that the position was no longer available for me. Then I called Miss Brady. She picked up, to my surprise, and told me that, yes, they did ask her, and she did tell them not to hire me. She did tell them that I would not be a good fit for the job. Did not tell them that I was joking at the dinner and thought that I'm this weird, creepy monster that can only talk about feet. Henceforth, not only did I not get the job, but I did not get the $1,200 that was promised as a sign-on bonus, which was money that I needed at the time. Because yes, my parents are well off, but I do not rely on them. She told them when they asked her about me.
Told them about your feet?
She said I was a creep. She said that I shouldn't be a person that works in a massage parlor. She said that I would not be a good fit for that company.
And that was her opinion?
Yes.
And so why are you suing her for her
because
opinion?
she sued me as I did not get the job because of her slander against me.
No, that wasn't slander. Slander is when you make up something that's false and it succeeds in hurting their reputation. What did she say that was false?
She did not tell them that I was joking.
The exception is that it's their opinion.
She did not tell them that what I was mentioning about the feet was joking. She did not tell them that as soon as she told me that she did not like the jokes that I apologized and wished that she would have a good rest of her day. She left that part completely out, judging me based only on that conversation.
Well, working a massage parlor involves touching folks' body primarily in the nude. No socks on. So she was absolutely within her right.
I was looking out for the clients.
And not only that, sir, that's her opinion. You cannot sue someone for their opinion. You can have an opinion that you don't like somebody and you can tell someone, I don't like such and such. I don't like, they stink. I think, you gotta say I think. You can't say as a fact. I think he smells. That's not defamation. If you're saying it to hurt somebody's reputation, and you say it as a fact, he does, or he stinks. And if some other folks are around and they take a little sniff and you don't stink, and we find out they were just trying to hurt your reputation with the other people, then that's slander and defamation. But if they give their opinion, because she may have a sensitive nose, person give opinions cannot qualify as defamation. That's why when I'm ready to defame somebody, I just say, it's my opinion that. I don't do that, but I'm going to have to dismiss your claim. This was not defamation, and it wasn't an invasion of privacy. She had a right to give her opinion about you, and that's what happens when you move too soon with your freakiness. You got to wait before you start telling them what you like. Mm-hmm. You got to at least give it how many dates you want before a man tell you what he like. Probably at least 3 or 4.
That I will never like. Other freaky things, maybe like a month.
Month. All right, so you heard her. Wait a month before you talk your freak talk. All right?
Noted.
All right, otherwise you're going to run them off. Ease them into that. Just you started out all right. Oh, I like those shoes. She left it at that night. Mm. And then the next night you saw those toenails polished. Your nails really look good on your feet.
Got to do it in steps.
That's another time.
Steps,
then about next time you see her 3-4 days later, don't say anything about the feet. So I'm dismissing your claim. She didn't do anything but express her opinion based on information she got from you. Have a good day. Claim dismissed.
All rise. Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed. Morgan Lynn is suing her ex-boyfriend, Jake Schneider, in the amount of $677. Miss Lynn claims they agreed to split the cost of their daughter's birthday party, but says when it came time to celebrate, he banned her from the event.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated. Judge, both litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, officer. State your name.
I'm Morgan Lynn.
Sir?
Jake Schneider, Your Honor.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing for $677 alleging that your ex, does that mean ex-husband or ex-boyfriend?
Ex-boyfriend, we were never married.
Okay. You would have got more than $677. You should have married him. Get that bread. I'm just kidding. Money shouldn't be the big factor in a marriage. Give me some background on why we're here and what's going on.
We're here today because I am suing my daughter's father for half the cost of a birthday party that we agreed to host together, and in the end, he did not allow me to attend.
Yeah. Sorry, I was about to laugh. That's not funny at all. I apologize.
It's not funny at all.
It sure isn't.
I have the text message agreement where we agreed.
You had to pay and couldn't come.
I paid. I have documents that I paid.
To your own daughter's event.
To my own daughter's event that we planned together.
You know, I ask background questions of people to determine whether the things they're going to tell me here in court make sense. Okay. So, what was the relationship like? Was it a lot of turmoil? Did you go through these things? And give me some background. You had a child together. How old is the child?
She is 7 right now.
All right. Have they had a good relationship? Give me some background on yourself.
Yeah, we were together about a year, and I had an accident, you could say, accidental pregnancy very early on in the relationship. Ever since then.
You had a premature child.
Yes.
Yeah, children aren't accidents. You the accident.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. It's all on us.
Go ahead.
And it was a very rocky relationship, being so young. We didn't have a lot of time together as adults, so it was very stressful.
Could you all afford the child?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
But we're also focused with our careers and managing a toddler.
Focused with I was focused
a new relationship.
on our career.
New relationship.
It didn't even work. Okay. All right.
Focusing on his career and what else?
A new relationship, and a toddler,
While with you all, he had a new relationship with a new woman?
No. We were still together, but we had too much stress in our life.
All right, you give me some background.
Well, yeah, Your Honor. I mean, this is really ridiculous. This has nothing to do with our wonderful daughter's birthday party whatsoever. My ex-girlfriend was more than welcome to attend. There's obviously a reason that we separated. We had decided a year ago to co-parent and raise our beautiful Layla together.
We were getting along just fine.
Excuse me, may I finish? May I finish?
And you went
okay.
left.
Okay. See, this is why you're single. Okay, this is exactly why we're not together anymore. Okay.
Well, she won't be for long after these men see her on this television show. These millions of men, or they'll be lined up around the corner. Don't you worry about being alone. You might be alone, but you'll never be lonely.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for. Yeah. But anyway,
who you got?
I got a wonderful fiance, Your Honor.
She's gonna be gone in a minute, like her too. Go ahead. You continue with your background.
We agreed for the sake of our daughter's happiness to throw this birthday party together, and she agreed to throw in half of.
You and your daughter have a close relationship?
Very close. My daughter is my life.
Good.
I love my daughter more than anything. And
He's always trying to compete with me.
There's no competition.
With our daughter's attention.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That's
ridiculous.
A good thing.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Well, it makes me look bad.
I'm sorry if you're
Why
not
does it make you feel bad? If he wants to be a better father than you are a mother, that's the best competition you can have. Exactly. I'm going to go out so that's because that's the best result for your child is for both parents competing to see how good they can be to me.
I think he's trying to always make me look bad.
It's not about what's the difference, does he talk against you?
We have before.
No,
yes.
Does he talk against you to the child?
In the past.
I have never talked.
She comes home after visitation perhaps with her dad or spending the weekend and says, Dad has talked about you. She's done that before. Dad said this about you.
Yes, she has. As a matter of fact, she came home a few days before that birthday party and told me, I'm going to have a new mom. And I said, what do you mean? Is this a joke? Is this a toy? What do you want? And
so what's the problem? I'm sorry I'm single and I'm in a new relationship where I'm actually happy and I'm using that as a bargaining chip for being here today and using your...
Let her finish, sir. Go ahead.
She said, Daddy and his girlfriend are getting married. Girlfriend? What girlfriend? It's a revolving door around there. I've never met anybody. So why am I hearing about this from my daughter and not from him? So it's either a fake relationship, not serious, or...
How often does your daughter stay with him?
It's 50-50.
Okay, so she will be under the
new mom's roof
I'm the mom.
and authority.
I'm the only mom.
Okay.
The new stepmom, whatever. You want to play word games, good, but the word games doesn't help your child and it doesn't get you in the door at the party. Go ahead, as we've seen. Go ahead.
She literally hit the nail on the head. This is exactly where everything this all of a sudden went sour. So when she found out that I have a new...
I can see what happened. She corrected me with the word game. No, it's not a new, I'm the new mom. You know what I was talking about. Go
Exactly.
ahead.
It's
now you want to fight with me.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Now ain't nobody going to be lined up. Because I'm telling them now, they see now. Go ahead.
A few days before the birthday party, Your Honor, I find out through a friend that she went on social media and made these vile posts about my girlfriend. As a matter of fact, Bailiff, if you
Let me
could
see
give
it,
this
please.
to the court.
He's court officer.
Yeah.
Court officer. He's been sworn in as a deputy court officer by the Wayne County Sheriff.
Your Honor, actions speak louder than words.
You heard me? I just want you to don't diminish my son. He's highly trained. Now let's get back to your thing and your daughter.
It's just saying, if you look at actions from my ex, read that post. That is insane. She went on a social media killing spree, defaming my girlfriend.
It was only one post.
No, that's irrelevant.
I did some digging and I found some
You
very
want to set an example
shady
for our daughters?
information.
Man, this is horrible. Did your daughter, would she have access? But your daughter's how old again?
She's 7 years old. Your Honor, thank God she has no access to Facebook.
Somebody could tell her. One of her friends' mothers could tell the friend, the little kid, and the little kid. You know how little kids find out. Little kids find out. My ex has brought a low-life, classless woman into my Layla's life. She's better known from her days spent on the pole, which is probably how she caught the attention of my ex, and now wants to play house with my family. Oh, he's your family. Oh, that's... You referring to him as your family, because you didn't say daughter, you said family. That's more than one. That's not the kind of woman I want around my kid. Who knows what kind of cooties she's bringing into that house. Disgusting. You posted this? Why? Why did you post this?
Because he should have told me
Was
about
this a text? No, this is a public post, though. Why are you telling the public your business?
Because I
What's the
need
matter with you?
everyone on my
What's the matter with you? You do this and have this on record for your child to see time your child does start. And I promise you, within the next 3 years, she's going to be looking at this. She's going to be on social media.
This is exactly
just so ridiculous. People coming here all the time, having shared their information with the entire world, all their followers. When their followers are going to tell the entire world, I bet you that. They reposting this. I bet you about 2,000 people know about that. If you had 2 followers, 2,000 people know by now, because they're reposting it. Oh, you see what's happening with Lynn and Morgan and all that. Ooh, they gossiping, talking about you behind your back, saying everything, calling you a low life. Probably. Some people are. They're taking his side, or they're just saying, why would she do this and put this on social media for her child to see? They gossiping about you. They talking bad about you. I don't know what you thought you were going to get out of publishing this, but that's what they're doing. And why did you do it, ma'am? Why did you go and publish this to the public?
Because he needs to respect me as our daughter's mother.
This is how you want to earn respect?
To communicate
by talking like that about a
I don't
loved one of
respect you
mine?
now.
Yeah, this is
I don't respect you for what you did. Don't roll your eyes at me. I'll throw you out. All right? I'll hold you in contempt and you'll be going out the door. I told you he's got sheriff's training. He's just not a bailiff. He's a sheriff, deputy sheriff. So they know how to do it. They're trained to do it. Did you go to all your martial arts classes?
I did.
You said that kind of slow.
I missed one.
So the money part, however, you paid for half, and there was an agreement that he would pay the other half?
Correct.
And you gave him your half?
I did. I have documentation of that.
All right, sir. How could you forbid her from coming? I might have did something different, altered something regarding this get-together or birthday party after if this came 3 days before the party, something, yeah, you messed that party up. You messed it up. You're going to keep rolling your eyes, huh? You did. Your claim is dismissed. Bye. Contempt. You rolled your eyes. I warned you. You did it again.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Where you've been, but you're going to respect this courtroom. My life has proven that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. From a jailed youth who had my record expunged to becoming the youngest judge elected.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years. Ma'am, let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Laura Carter is suing Jake Reynolds in the amount of $1,416. Miss Carter claims her ex-boyfriend had a last-minute change of heart about moving in with her and says he refuses to honor their agreement.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. May all be seated. And Judge, both litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, sir. All right, state your names.
Laura Carter.
Sir?
Morning, Your Honor. My name's Jake Reynolds.
All right. And Laura, you're suing Jake for $1,416, alleging he bailed out on you for a rental that you all came together on. All right, start with you.
I am suing Jake because we had agreed on getting a short-term rental property.
Where you know him from and how long have you known him?
He is my ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, he's my ex-boyfriend for 3 years.
Okay. And how long into the 3 years did you all decide to move together?
So after the end of the 3 years, we decided to move. We're going to try to move in together.
How did the 3 years go?
I mean, it wasn't when it was good, when it was good. When it was bad, it was bad.
Toxic.
He always uses these big words, whatever. But we were on and off for the 3 years. We've broken up, I want to say, probably like 5 times.
Feels a lot.
For how long each time on average?
They're like a give or take, like a couple months each time. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you might have said a couple of days. Everybody break up every week for a couple of days.
The serious breakups were like at least like 5 times. I mean, we were constantly like,
we had to take
bickering.
a few breaks.
That's almost twice a year.
At least.
All right. And what were the reasons typically?
Sometimes we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I think he has a wandering eye, and he likes to look at a lot of girls. And when I first met him, he came off so sweet and he's so caring, and I really enjoyed his personality.
You didn't do what y'all tell him what to do, and if he didn't do it, you do it for him. You need to read the Bible. If you read the Bible, you'd know what to do.
She started.
The Bible says, "If thy eye offends thee, then pluck it out," and that applies to men when they got a wandering eye. And if his eye offends him because it offends you, then somebody got to pluck it out. See, your problem would have been over.
You know, I like to work things out. I mean, we're very passionate people, which was a great thing and also a terrible thing. We could really heated arguments, and after the last time we decided we wanted to try to move in together, like if we were going to break up this last time, it was going to be for final, and we decided that we weren't going to, and we were going to go and start living together.
I was slightly hesitant about moving directly into a year-long lease, so I suggested something shorter.
I was like going to commit. I was like, I'm going to sign it. You're going to sign it. Our names are both going to be on this lease. There's no getting out of it. You're going to be stuck.
That's her pushing all the time, and I was just trying to find like a middle ground.
You know what, young man? I hope I don't offend you, but you come across like a man that is scared to get married. You came across like I was when I was at the altar. All my friends to this day, and I think my wife, if you ask her, I looked petrified. I was afraid of the future because I had no idea of what I was getting myself into. All I knew is I'm committing to 100% accountability to someone else. That's what happened. Well, he got petrified by the idea that he wasn't going to...
He needed to buck up a little bit.
I've tried working with her, and it's really difficult. There have been times where She's gone through my stuff, gone through my phones, my text messages.
No wonder she's so scared over there. You suggested, however, that it's short term.
Yes, correct. Sir.
She wanted a longer term.
Yeah, I wanted us both to commit to be on a lease and commit to that, that full year, and we can actually like figure it out. There's no moving out. There's no running back to your roommate or running back to your freaking Emma. There's no running back to her either.
Okay.
Who is that?
She keeps bringing up my roommate. I have 2 roommates, by the way, and for
You
some
staying
reason,
with 2 women? She said it's a woman. If I got 2 women with me, staying with me with her,
one of them's my best friend from growing up, and the other one happens to be a woman.
That they met online. Like, it's so weird. And
Yes.
your guys' chemistry is way too
We managed to do an interview.
On a dating site?
No, not on a dating.
What type of site did you meet on?
It's like old school Craigslist, just looking for a roommate, sublet a room in our apartment.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
How long you been going with this girl that you live with?
That I live with?
Yeah, how long you been going with her?
We've been going for about 6 months now, ever since.
At least you're admitting.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Laura Carter, who was suing Jake Reynolds for breach of contract.
How long you been going with this girl that you live with?
That I live with?
Yeah, how long you been going with her?
We've been going for about 6 months now, ever since.
At least you're admitting. He said he go with her. I asked him how long he been going with her, didn't he? And he said 6 months, didn't he? At least you admit he's an honest guy. You should stay with him because he's honest. He's admitting to the woman he stays with, he's been with her for 6 months. But now you're ready to go back home, aren't you?
After we were over.
You're ready to go back home, aren't you?
No, I'm through with this.
You still got the woman?
Yes, I'm still with her.
Yeah, they're dating now.
Yeah, he told me. I asked how long y'all been together.
No,
He said
they were friends at first. They were just roommates. They were completely platonic. But now it's like, we end. So yeah.
And I would constantly
let me
tell
tell you
her
more
we're
about the rental
platonic, and
property
she'd
why
still go
why
through
we're
all
here.
my stuff and accuse me of things.
You know, ma'am, I have to listen because this puts everything in context, whether he had the legal right to break the contract that you're about to tell me about. So that's why I need to know what was going on.
Exactly.
Because there are circumstances in realty that if you're a tenancy, if you're unable to live together because it might be dangerous to either of the parties, or you can't get along and no one should have to live in misery, then you are able to break a contract. And based on the fact it's called constructive eviction, meaning, okay, instead of having them live together, go on and break your contract, put each other in the same position you were in. You get your money back, you get your money back. So that's what I'm trying to see, if that was the case.
From the moment she found out she was a girl, it was instant static. Just accusations left and right. We're doing this and that together.
Well, you were, because she's your girlfriend now, right?
Well, no, not at the time.
Why
no.
you keep stuttering every time I ask you something?
Just clearing up timelines, Your Honor.
She's your girlfriend now.
Now, correct, yes.
Just so happened, after y'all move in together, you turn your woman down who you have been with for 3 years and made a commitment to suddenly. Oh, no, baby. I got a roommate. She's just a roommate. But I ain't really trying to do that no more. After it had calmed down a little bit, we can be public now, and I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to tell them that we're dating. I'm going to tell them something that make them think that we were never dating before. But Judge Mathis, he ain't going to believe that. I'm going to try my best. But Judge,
I can assure you 100% it was strictly platonic.
Oh, when you say that 100%, you're always lying. And everybody tell y'all 100% they lying. That boy tells me 100%. Every time he tells me 100%, I know he lying.
Being way too abusive.
He taught me that.
I did my best to get out of there. I know.
Give me some examples of the abuse. You say it was way too abusive.
Yes.
You're saying going in your phone. You told me about that.
Going in my phone, asking where I'm at, who I'm with, asking me to change the clothes I'm wearing because she thinks it's too sexy or too revealing. asking me not to hang out with people, even though I do business. I have to talk to people for a living.
All of that comes with permanent commitment. Every single thing you said. And as much as we want to resist it, we have to accept it. I resist that too. I resisted from the beginning. And had I had a woman who had all of those things that you mentioned, we wouldn't be together. I wouldn't have married her. Thank God I had a great woman and didn't do all that. Did a couple of those things. Want to know where I'm at, when I'm coming, when you're leaving. Yeah, she wanted to know that. And I didn't even like that. Because I hadn't had parents since 17, never had a dad. So I didn't like people telling me when I got to come and go, when I have to be accountable, telling you this, telling you everything I'm doing. I didn't like it. Still don't. But I have to. When I don't, I get the call. Where you at? When you coming home? Yeah. I was in Detroit for 6 days straight the other day. I was doing a lot of business too. Where you at? You still in Detroit? Still at the house? When you coming home? All right. Tell me what happened with the money here.
We were going to try for this rental property or this short-term rental. We were, I guess like
we were in
Jacob
the beginning stages, and then about 2 months out, I started to notice some of those behaviors pop up again, the clinginess, the manipulation, just really creepy behavior in general. And I didn't want to stay around it anymore.
But what was the agreement when you all put your money up?
That we were going to get a rental property for a month.
Yeah, there was no formal discussion about
what did happen?
Who would pay.
So a couple months prior to actually renting the property, a couple days going into the property or moving into the property, he decided that he just didn't want to be with me anymore. And he wanted to never talk again, and he didn't want to move in with me.
Coming up.
What did you do?
What did I do?
Yes, ma'am.
I still moved in. I mean, it was a couple days prior. I couldn't cancel. I couldn't get a refund. I couldn't get anything. So I was forced to move in by myself.
Into a beach house, by the way.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with the case of Laura Carter, who was suing Jake Reynolds for breach of contract.
What'd you do?
What did I do?
Yes, ma'am.
I still moved in. I mean, it was a couple days prior. I couldn't cancel. I couldn't get a refund. I couldn't get anything. So I was forced to move in by myself.
Into a beach house, by the way.
And yeah, it was a beautiful little condo by the beach. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be.
You were going to be there too.
Yeah.
You can't help it because you bailed out. She laid out on that beach. So she was getting shows every day, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, you left and you run off, and baby, she was getting shows on that beach, whether you know it or not. Wasn't they coming for you, baby?
What good is a beach house if I got to be with her?
Ma'am, worked out because you got me in that mindset of her laying on that beach. I'd be walking by saying if I wasn't married, hey baby. That's why I called her that. But you laying out on the beach by herself. What you think was happening?
Go for
Weren't the men
Whoever
hitting on you?
Walks up to her, go for it.
Towards the end, no, he started being a little bit distant.
No, I'm saying the other men when you were on the beach, weren't they hitting on you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him back for you. The man didn't talk crazy to you, broke your heart. I'm trying to get you to let him know that you get chose time you step out the door, so you don't need him and his little raggedy roommate that he going with. You don't know how to talk.
Apparently she needs my money though.
The two raggedy
roommates. We talking about the woman that he called you about and the one he's going with. I'm just kidding, though. She's a nice lady, and I don't know her at all. All right, get that out the way. I shouldn't have said that outside of comedy, so I want you to know.
Her name is
That's what.
Emma.
Now I don't need to hear her name.
Coming up.
But I was hoping that when I was in the property, he was going to at least come stop by. We're going to try to work things out.
I never set a foot in there, by the way.
I know, but I was hoping for that. I'm committed to a relationship. I'm still here.
You're watching Mathis Court with
Mathis Court is back with the case of Laura Carter, who was suing Jake Reynolds for breach of contract.
I mean, she's kind of the reason why things didn't work out.
Yeah, but we don't want to publish her name to the public. That wouldn't be appropriate.
Okay.
All right. And so you believe that he should pay half, obviously, or?
You're suing for all of it.
Yes, I'm suing for all of it. I was hoping that when I was in the property, he was going to at least like come stop by. We're going to try to work things out.
I never set a foot in there, by the way.
I know, but I was hoping for that. You know, I'm committed to a relationship. I'm still here. I'm still in the property.
And you couldn't get out of the lease.
And I couldn't get out. So I'm hoping that he's going to, you know, grow a pair and be like, you know what, she's here.
You could have
I'm
rented
gonna
it out
go.
to somebody else.
Excuse me, can I talk? Thank you.
Whatever.
I thought he was going to come and join me and we were going to figure it out, but he didn't come at all. And I was just like, okay, dude, like,
I
it is what it is.
Yeah, why did you wait to the last minute like that? I'm curious.
It honestly was just building up to a pressure point, and
I think it had a lot to do with the roommate. I think it had a lot to do with the roommate.
I can assure you it had nothing to do with that, and everything with having to deal with this personality over here and wanting to get away from her.
Great. So.
You had 3 years to do that. It was when you met that woman that you couldn't come back this time. Well, y'all hadn't even fallen out, had you? At the point in which he came and told you, I no longer want to move in or be with you. You all hadn't fallen out, had you?
No, we were kind of just like, it was a little bit distant, but it wasn't like we were like going to break up.
So why don't you think you should have to pay? At least half.
Well, because she forced me into this position where I
didn't force you. You suggested it.
Yes.
You suggested it, and you confirmed with me. So I didn't.
Amir stand between them so she don't jump on him today.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis. Since he claims she forces stuff on him and she orders him
she keeps
around
claiming
and
that
force
I
him.
sent this text.
Don't hit him in here today, ma'am. Well, I don't believe in violence. That's why Officer Amir is right there. So.
I'm honestly just trying to escape this relationship.
Well,
and
you can escape it. It'll be
possessiveness
very easy to escape it
so
today.
that I can get on with my life.
There you
She's
go.
jealous
and I
just
want you
trying
to do
control
that.
me again
That's why
by
I'm
doing
ordering
this
you
whole
to pay
procedure.
half, $708. You agreed to in a contract. You didn't have to sign. It could be verbal. You agreed to move in with her and take a test run. She performed her end of the bargain by going there and staying. Had she not gone, I don't know what the decision might have been. She stayed there. That's why you have to pay $708 yourself.
I understand.
You didn't stay there, therefore you breached the contract and you must pay what she expected for you to pay, and that is half or all. But I'll make you pay half today, $708. Have a good day. That's my decision.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $708.
We did not have to do all this. We could have just done it way before.
This whole procedure is a waste of both of our time.
It is. I completely agree, but I mean...
All just because you're jealous.
Susan Johnson is suing Ronald Hellam in the amount of $250. Ms. Johnson claims her landlord started his own recycling business and says the piles of rotting trash around the property caused a roach infestation.
All right, start with you.
The defendant, my landlord, his recycling went on to 10, 15, 20 bags, and not all of it would get recycled weekly. And on top of that, he's recycling his neighbors as well. And unfortunately, it's caused a bug infestation. Big bugs, roaches, and they've come onto my lawn, my property, my porch. I urged, Ronald to handle the issue. And
when did you first start urging him?
When the recycling got bad, about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
And wow, that's a long time. And he never repaired it?
He did contact some type of extermination company, and no sooner than later I saw him hauling away some of the recycling, and at the same time spraying some type of topical.
How you know it came from the recycling? Maybe it's from his house.
Well, I could.
You have been in his house?
No.
Well, he might be nasty and have roaches all over the wall, and you blaming the recycling people.
Well, I could smell it
too. You have
too.
roaches?
I do not, sir.
Oh, but you give your neighbor roaches, but you don't.
I do not agree that I'm giving her roaches, nor that my recycling is the cause of the insects living outdoors.
Tell me what you know of this. And what has been done. When did she first start complaining? She said 4 years ago. So you tell me what you've done over the 4 years to eliminate your tenant.
Well, about 4 years ago, I started recycling in larger quantities, taking the recycling from other units and the 4 units that I am the landlord of. Everyone except for Miss Johnson's, who didn't wish to participate in my recycling program.
And I'm a fan of recycling. I recycle my own things.
Why didn't you want to participate in his?
Well, because it was already a problem seeing it stack up. Mine probably would have ended up the same way.
Was it stacked up and giving appearing to be a blight? Appearance of a blight?
Yes, sir. I would collect about a week's worth of recycling. At the time of her initial complaint, I was doing it in 2-week cycles, so it was substantially more than it is now. But after she addressed the issue to me, I immediately took the recyclables to the recycling center.
That's one time, but then she says it happened quite frequently.
This is an ongoing side business that I have going.
So you're running a business out of your house that involves garbage?
It is recycling.
Yeah, garbage. Unless you keep it.
Well, it's recycling is not garbage. Garbage.
Oh, you don't throw it out? That's the problem then. You don't throw it out. You get a pizza box and it has all type of residue, tomato on it and everything else. It's all recycling and it's still exposed to animals if it has residue of food. Mr. Recycle for a living. You ever heard of that? Have you ever, that ever dawned on you? Anybody ever told you?
That yes, the recycling could be considered by trash to some, but to me it is not. I think.
Okay, what is it? A pizza box with all type of residue of pizza.
That is indeed trash.
Right.
But
and
a pizza
you don't
box,
take pizza boxes?
I take pizza boxes.
People don't clean those pizza boxes before they give it to you. So they give it to you and it's trash when you receive it. I know it's true. You don't have to tell me. I know your business more than you do.
That would be considered trash, Honor.
I know it will. That's what I'm saying. Don't even think a box of pizza at first. You went back and forth with me. No, that isn't garbage. No, recycling isn't trash. No, I know. I've been in this business for many, many years, Your Honor. You don't feel pizza with tomatoes all inside, scattered around and trash? Well, now that you mention it, it might be. I believe if you pack up recyclables, which some no doubt have residue of food on them, then certainly it will attract bugs. You don't believe that. Obviously, in fact, you went back and forth with me about whether it would or not. So therefore, I know you don't know what you're doing, and therefore a judgment is for you. $250 for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $250.
You have any final words?
Just better handle the roaches.
It has been handled.
With Judge Mathis.
Daisy Martinez is suing Wendy Lott in the amount of $1,500. Ms. Martinez claims Ms. Lott was an overly judgmental roommate and says the defendant moved out suddenly without paying the last month's rent.
State your name, ma'am.
Daisy Martinez.
Ma'am?
Wendy Lott.
All right, Ms. Martinez, you're suing Ms. Lott for $1,500, alleging she owes this money for rent?
Yes, for rent.
All right, start with you.
She didn't pay her half of the rent.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff. Just want to get right to it. I thought you might put it in context. We're together. We're supposed to each pay half. Something. We've been living together. Yeah. She ain't pay her half of the rent. Oh, okay. Let me get to you. Why don't you give me some background? Maybe you can tell me something other than you didn't pay your rent.
Your Honor, I was scared for my life and my safety and felt I was forced to leave my own home because there was illegal paraphernalia in our home that was brought in by her and all her friends.
There you go. All right. Now I understand why we're here.
I think that she has no right to say that.
She smokes weed every single day in our house.
I think she's actually just judgmental.
I don't know what else you're doing either.
She's very judgmental.
not judgmental. I have a past history. My mother passed away of drug use, and she knows how I feel about it. I'm very against drugs, and her doing it every single day after I've talked to her multiple times about how I feel, asking at least to not do it around me. But now she brings all of her friends into the house, and all of them stay the night. They all make a mess that she expects me to clean up, smoking weed here.
When you all moved in together, did she know you were going to be smoking in the house?
She should know because I put it on my social media post. I was looking for a roommate.
Go ahead. You were looking for a roommate that what? That smokes pot?
Well, on my social media, I post about me, so she should know that.
She should follow you on your social media and know everything about your life?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't follow one person.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
So that means I should never move anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking y'all. This sense is this not making common sense to me.
But I think that
sometimes you might be flattering yourself, thinking that somebody is supposed to know because somebody looks at your stuff. They might not. You might be flattering yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you follow her so much so that you would know all of her life?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Yeah,
I was
right.
under the impression that she had tried marijuana before, but not that she was an active user. And
how long after moving in did she start? Did you see her using?
I saw her using it. It started slow, maybe once a month, and she was doing it by herself. So I tried to ignore it. I wasn't home when she was doing it, but it got worse when she began to bring all of her friends over, and they did it pretty much every single day.
And you mentioned it to her, and what did she say?
That she doesn't care. It's her house, too. She should be able to do it from the safety of her own home.
Okay, first of all, she's over-exaggerating, Your Honor. I like to smoke marijuana when I want to relax. I want to
and
relax.
all your other
That's my
10
home.
friends that want to come over to relax at our house,
it's
too?
my home. I want to relax. That's what I do.
Did you smoke before you came here today?
No.
Probably. She smells like weed.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
You smell it over there? Smell a little bit?
I don't.
No? Okay.
Either way, it's still illegal in the state of Nebraska.
There you go.
Completely.
That's what we're on. We're in California now. It's not illegal here.
Your Honor.
So we can play about it and say who smokes what wherever it is in California. However, like you say, they were engaged in illegal activity.
Your Honor, I also have reason to believe that she's selling it from our home as well. The last case for me and to why I did.
Have you
end up
moved
moving
yet?
out. Yes.
Okay, good. That's why she wants your money, because you moved out early. Unfortunately, this is what we call in the law constructive eviction, and that being that one party is doing something so unacceptable that they would not be able to remain as co-tenants. And what I'm determining is that your weed smoking, breaking the law inside the household, and the friends that interfere with her quiet enjoyment of her tenancy has caused a breach of contract and has caused a condition that is unbearable and should not have to be enforced. As such, your claim is dismissed. No weed today. Have a good day.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I just can't wait to see your mugshot online one day.
I just hope that you learn from this. I hope that you actually start paying up next time.
Oh, this way.
Sandra Lee is suing Maxwell Chase in the amount of $1,500. Miss Lee claims her employer said her clothing was too provocative to wear while working at his Christian bookstore, but says he fired her for what she wore at home.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated. Judge, both litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, sir. State your name, ma'am.
Hi, Judge. My name is Sandra Lee.
Sir?
Maxwell Chase.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant, your former employer, for unlawful termination for $1,500?
That's correct.
All right, start with you. Give me some background on this.
So I moved to Fresno late 2020 from Miami. Was having a hard time. Ran into a man who I thought was kind. Gave me a job at his bookstore as a barista, sales clerk. I did great. We had a couple run-ins where he was...
Who told you you did great?
He did, sir,
Okay.
and the customer base loved me.
All right.
We had a couple run-ins where he asked me to change what I wore to work. He felt that it was inappropriate. I
What were
listened.
you wearing?
Jeans, you know, tops, things that I felt were fine to wear to a bookstore.
He had a problem with jeans, you think?
Clearly he did.
You had a problem with jeans?
I did not have a problem with jeans, Your Honor. I had a problem with the type of jeans she was wearing. Incredibly too tight for a Christian bookstore.
This is a Christian bookstore.
100% a Christian bookstore, Your Honor.
So you wanted her to dress like
appropriately for the job.
Would not offend your Christian customers.
Correct.
Because I suppose you think that Christians are offended by racy clothing.
Absolutely.
That's your assumption.
Absolutely.
I'm a Christian.
Yes.
You a Christian? Are you offended by women when they dress provocatively?
I'm not.
Or do you just do what the Bible say? If I offend thee, you pluck it out. Now you want to go Bible to Bible?
You do
I
what?
know my Bible too now.
You do what?
You pluck it out. If thine eye offends thee, pluck it out. So if what you're looking at, a racy or whatever, however you a provocative outfit on a woman, you pluck your eye out. If you take the Bible literally, which I don't, but that's what it says, and I think figuratively it means speaking in allegory. That's what they say. Most of the Bible is full of allegory. Allegory meaning stories that reflect the essence of the message. And so they don't mean literally pluck your eye out, but it does mean stop looking. That's the essence of it. And so that's what I'm about to get. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I don't believe she was that racy. This is a nice mother of the church. She appears to be dressed fully now. You're a mother? No, the mothers have to be older. I think mothers are seniors. I do go to church enough to know that. They wear the all white. Do you wear the white when you go?
Not to wear.
Okay, well, no, you're not. No, I'm talking about the church. Because otherwise, you're not a church lady. You're a, what's the younger ladies? Oh, a missionary. You can be young a missionary as a missionary. You missionary?
I am not.
You're not? Just a church lady. Okay, church. We'll just go with church lady.
I think I heard she doesn't go to church.
I do not attend church. No.
Would you mind your business? How would you going to expose this woman's business?
She said
she might want everybody. I think she want everybody to think she's a church lady. I'm going with church lady.
She said, I don't go to church.
I'm going with church lady. She look like a church lady to me. She act like a church lady to me. She's a church lady. Go ahead. And you can't offend anybody calling them something involving the Lord or God. You can't be offended. If you say you look like Mary, Mother Mary, you wouldn't be offended, would you?
No, sir.
Mother Mary had Jesus.
Sure did.
There you go. You might not want to be called Jezebel in the Bible, but Jesus, Mary is all right. Go ahead, sir. Tell me what complaints you had about her dressing. Or is it just you that needed to poke your eye out like the Bible says, if thy eye offend thee?
Okay. The reason we decided to terminate her, or that I decided to terminate her, sir, is that she was driving away my customers. I had several complaints about her, about the way she was. I had several complaints about the way she had dressed. Not necessarily, even in the store.
Some of the more jealous women.
Not actually jealous women. Several families who said they would not buy from my store. It was crippling my business. So I had
Please, them little boys go home and think about and fantasize about her. Who you kidding? Talking about the families come in. And them little 12-year-old boys come in there to see her dressed like that. They going home happy as a lark. One mad as the mother.
I had Mr. and Mrs. Smith come to me and say, I will not buy from this bookstore again. You do not hold Christian values.
You can tell them they got a lot of nerve. They're involved in entanglements.
Let's talk about how Mr. Smith bought my signature drink every day.
Bought your signature drink every day?
My signature coffee drink every day, $3.50 a cup. That was enough. That was okay.
It was once a day.
That's besides the point. Your Honor, he fired me for something I did in the privacy of my home.
Oh, it was in privacy of her home?
Yes. There's a pool in my condo complex, and a couple times, you know, I put on my swimsuit, go to the pool, come back home, sit on my balcony. It's got a nice shade to cool off, okay? And a couple of times this happened, and he fired me for that. He fired me because people who went to his bookstore who knew I worked there were upset that I was...
Because you weren't naked. Church lady wasn't up there naked.
No, sir, I was not naked.
No,
I was wearing a swimsuit.
Is this what we're talking about, what she wears at her on the confines of her own property?
Well, she's in the view of my bookstore, sir.
I can't.
So you're saying when people come up...
Yes?
They can see her...
Yes, they can see her condo
in
straight
provocative
Where? What type of provocative? How provocative is it?
Swimsuit,
Do you wear
sir.
thorns?
Swimsuit. I have a
You get on that
bikini.
balcony with thorns, church lady?
He does.
It's a swimsuit.
And then
Bought at
gonna
a
act
swimsuit
like you
store.
got something to pick up on the ground. Oh, let me get my pop. Bending over with that thong, and your customers got to see that mess.
Absolutely.
And those men are so mad and angry when they see it, aren't they?
They absolutely
so
are.
So are the little adolescent boys.
Absolutely, sir.
I know absolutely that's what's happening. They're going on fantasizing about her.
Absolutely. Why do you think they were buying drinks from you?
Mr. Chase, it is 2023. This is giving body shaming. It's giving toxic masculinity.
I didn't say anything
giving
about your
misogyny.
body.
Okay, it's not up to me to control other people's perception of me. I did my job at your store. I covered for you when you had to go take care of your family stuff.
After I had to fight you on it.
You fought me,
multiple
but I
times.
stayed. I covered for you because I thought this guy's looking out for me, so I'm gonna look out for him. And then you're gonna fire me 5 hours into my Monday shift and not gonna let me work the next 2 weeks. What am I supposed to do? I'm new to town. I'm a single woman. I'm trying to get by. I thought you had my back.
In any event, sir, did you speak with her about it? Did you give her a warning?
I did. I gave her a warning when she started showing up a couple months into the job in skimpy clothing. I explained to her
And
that's
I
not
changed
acceptable.
my clothing.
Excuse me. I explained to her
Yes,
that is
excuse
not
you.
acceptable in
All right,
the
that's
bookstore.
on the job.
Absolutely, but there is a clause in our contract here that she signed, and it clearly states, Your Honor.
Let's see it, please, Amir.
Give me the whole packet.
They're saying what?
It clearly states that I expect her to comport herself correctly, dress appropriately on and off the premises. Her patio is
So
a
what you
direct-
want her to wear when she go to the club? What you want her to wear when she go to the club? Outfit, the most conservative of Christian outfits, or what is the group in Pennsylvania? Not Mormons, the
Amish.
Amish. You want her to go Amish to the bar?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Well,
but
then,
if she's in the view, when you're in the view of my bookstore, you can't be parading yourself around.
I didn't build that condo in front of your bookstore.
You know what? You moved into it, okay?
I did,
And we have
you
a
knew I
very
lived
close-knit
there.
community.
Represent our establishment in a professional manner, in and out of the workplace. Now, why do you feel her attire in a swimsuit is unprofessional? If she was a professional swimmer, she might be trying out to be a professional swimmer, so that is professional.
It's not so much that she's unprofessional, it's the fact that I'm getting complaints and losing business over the fact that you're dressing inappropriately.
I'll tell you what to do. Get you a sign. So when they walk up, they'll see a sign. Put that sign, say, "Don't look up." How about that? Wasn't that the movie too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great movie.
After the movie, you might not be able to use those words. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. But don't look up. All right? Then you won't have that problem anymore. But you got a bunch of freaks coming in there. You know they looking up there, oohing and on. How many complaints you get?
Multiple. At least 5 within 2 times she did it.
This happened twice, okay? And after the second time he told me about these complaints, never happened again. But he still chose to fire me, to put me on the schedule first for 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm keeping my word. I'm setting my time aside to show up to work for 2 weeks. And he chooses to fire me on a Monday after lunch, handing me a $100 check. Here's your pay for the day. Don't come back.
That's what you get. You get 5 hours worth of pay. You don't get 2 weeks worth when you're not.
You would have wanted a 2 week notice.
Don't
would
you
have
want
not?
all the Christians that come into your store to be faithful to their religion?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right. And sometimes, as part of your faith, you get tested by the devil. And that's a very, quite frankly, it should be a very desirable test for an avid Christian who wants to test their faith. Mother Teresa said sometimes she questioned her faith and whether there was a God. Sometimes Christians do that. But the best way is when the devil tests you and you can survive that test. That's when you know you have a real relationship with God. I love the law. I'm preaching now, I'm sorry. I was just giving you the scripture. No, but my point is, they're being tested. Let her be the test of your customers' religion. Test their faith, since you want all of them to be strong in their faith. You should have her dressed as skimpy and as provocative as she can in the back, and then every little Christian that come in there one at a time. I want to tell you something. I want to test your faith. Going back in there. No, sir. The issue we have here is whether this contract is constitutional. Because you are dictating what she could wear in the workplace and outside of the workplace. In the workplace, perhaps. But just because you got a bunch of people that walk around looking in the sky instead of in front of them, you can't hold her accountable to that. What's she supposed to say? I got to move. In order for her to be able to lay out on a balcony, she has to move. Or she has to sit in the balcony with army fatigues on and 90 degrees just so that your customers are not seeing. Well, and there's something in the law, and I'm being funny, but that might be the answer. There's something in the law that requires constitutional issues to be what they call narrowly tailored. You can't say, I don't want you talking about men because it might upset the women. Well, that's unconstitutional to say it in such a broad manner. Now, if you say, I don't want you talking to each other about sex because the women will hear you and it will offend them, that's narrowly tailored. That's very specific. But you can't say, you can't be up there dressed provocative, and I'll determine whether it's provocative, and my customers will determine whether it's provocative. You should have went to her and asked, are you, this is what I think is going on. It's affecting my business. I'd like for us to amend this contract to make it very specific about what you can do in agreeing to the contract that requires you represent my establishment in a professional manner in and outside of the workplace. So outside of the workplace, you might say to her, very specific things though. Don't wear things that expose your too much. Don't wear thongs and don't bend over when you wear the thongs. I don't know. I mean, how far you want to take that, representing my establishment in a professional manner outside of the workplace? You probably don't want them wearing tattoos all around. Well, you can't say, well, don't show your tattoos outside the workplace. You might say it. If I thought about it enough, maybe not. But if you see an employee come on with a bunch of tattoos that you think would make your customers have certain thoughts that you don't want them to have preconceived notions about, then on that contract, you'll say, okay, I see you got tattoos. Are you willing not to show your tattoos by wearing covered up clothing or whatever? Okay, sign there. Then you got a contract with him agreeing to do. 1,500 is your judgment, sir. That rule was too broad to fit within the constitutional clause of freedom of expression. And so you have to narrow it down and discuss with that employee before you meet with them and they sign the contract. You got to be a little more specific. So in the future, do that. I'm telling you, it's an easy way is to tell the people to not look up and to put a big sign in the parking lot. When you're coming in here, you not look up because there is provocative things you might not want to see. You know what's going to happen? They're going to all stop bumping into each other because every single one of them going to be looking for that provocative thing on the balcony. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,500.
I just hope you learn that dressing provocatively, you're a beautiful woman. You don't need to dress that way all the time.
Mr. Chase, just provide a uniform, okay, and stay out of my business.
Vance Peterson is suing Hannah Marsden in the amount of $1,100.99. Mr. Peterson claims his roommate's girlfriend is toxic and says she not only smashed his TV, she intentionally dropped the replacement.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
State your name.
I'm Vance Peterson.
Ma'am?
Hannah Marsden.
All right, sir, you're suing for $1,100, Ms. Marsden, saying that she intentionally broke your television.
Yes, this is my best friend and roommate's girlfriend, Hannah Marsden, and I'm suing her because she intentionally smashed my TV and refuses to replace it.
Okay, do you all have a friendship?
No.
So she's the girlfriend of your best friend?
No, I hate her, honestly.
Why?
Well, she is just the worst. She came into my life.
Your life?
Yeah, my life. She came into my life about 2 years ago. Me and my BFF, Kevin.
She went into his life. Then you say she go with him.
I mean, the thing is, me and Kevin have been childhood friends since
Childs. That's the key word.
And till now, as adults, teenagers, children, doesn't matter. We've been friends for 20 plus years.
Well, it does matter. Let's stop you there. That may be the problem here.
Okay.
It's different when you're a child than when you are an adult.
That's
your
true.
relationships with your girlfriends when you are a child are different from your relationships when you are an adult. In fact, at certain ages, you hate girls, and he hates them too. I hate girls when you're 4. He started loving them at 3. But nonetheless.
My mother was my first love.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that,
it's really nice.
Isn't that nice? So that's all the point I want to make. You give me some background, and I want to hear particularly the experiences you've had with the plaintiff before we get to the issue at hand with the television.
I completely agree, Your Honor. Like, ever since I walked into Kevin's life, he's given me dirty looks, said like rude comments, snarky comments. I don't know if he just like, it seems like he just really like hates women for some reason. Like, ever since I met him, he's just been completely against me, and he never even gave me a chance.
I mean, Your Honor, respectfully, I think I know what's best for Kevin. I've seen him with plenty of women. I've helped him through childhood, teenagehood, if that's a word, and adulthood. And I think I just know him so much better than her. I know that she's toxic. She's not right for him. And I'm just trying to protect him, you know? He's my best friend.
Have you observed them falling out or heard of them falling out and arguing regularly?
I mean, it's pretty frequent, and maybe not every day, but it sure feels like it, and I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest.
Your Honor, if I might add, I feel like half the time, if we ever are arguing, it's because of Vance making digs at me, which Kevin doesn't like because he loves me.
Do you have a woman?
No.
That's why you're trying to interfere with it. You better go get you somebody yourself.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I just want Kevin.
That's what it is. You ain't trying to put him with one of your girlfriends, or they don't want to be. You don't think he want to be bothered with him?
I don't want to be bothered with them. I mean, look at what happened to Kevin.
He seems to be doing all right to me.
No. Yeah.
Your Honor, he is a shell of a person. No disrespect. You don't know her the way I know her. I have to wake up every morning and I'm just like, what is going on? And Kevin doesn't want to do it. He tells me this.
Are you a weed head or something?
A weed? I mean, my hair.
A burnout? They call them burnout.
No, sir. No, sir.
Like when you smoke weed all day.
No, not all day.
You know, I know a dope fiend. You don't come across like an opiate head. You don't come across like crystal meth or a crackhead, but you do come across like a burnout. You can smoke your weed, but my God, not every hour, sir.
Is that like a court order or?
Yes, a court order. Thank you. Yes. Tell me about this. Tell me about this television.
She was not there, and we were all talking about how we have a mutual childhood friend who is a female and who kind of had a thing for Kevin for forever. Kevin's not into her, you know, but we're friends with her. We decided to invite her to come up for the weekend and hang out. And I jokingly, I like to make jokes, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm inviting her to like break you guys up, like he's gonna cheat with her, because it was a joke, right? Kevin's not that kind of guy. Some girlfriend in the group told her, she comes over that night and just starts yelling at me, and she's like, why are you doing this? You're gonna break it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's a joke, right? She runs upstairs, takes my TV, and just throws it to the ground.
So you went upstairs looking for him.
And I saw his TV there, and I know all he does all day is play video games. So in a fit of just
And
just
watch
quick
porn
anger.
because he ain't got no woman. We already established that.
Exactly.
So if you broke that TV, Doc, you broke a whole lot more than just a tough. As much satisfaction as he got from his TV, and you went up there and broke it.
Exactly.
For 1 minute he playing video games. I mean, he hyped and having fun. Next minute he just laid out.
Yeah.
Watching his TV. And
I
you
didn't
took
want
that from him.
I didn't want those women to be watched by him, you know?
Your Honor, for the record, I don't use the TV. It's my phone, so this is
I think if you didn't use the TV, you wouldn't
He
care.
says his phone he uses.
I just want to be, just for the record.
Why are you laughing so much, son? I caught you one time and you said you were watching a documentary.
That was vice versa.
That is true. So, tell me what happened. Do you agree you should pay for it? I mean, you ruined the man's life. Not just his television, you ruined his life.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I realized after I'd done it how wrong it was.
So
you know?
why don't you think you should pay?
So I did, well, the part that he left out of the story is that I replaced the TV.
Oh, so why are we here, sir? If she replaced it.
Your Honor, she replaced my broken TV with a broken TV.
What do you mean?
He's not telling you the full story.
She got me a new TV, and it's broken because she dropped it.
How did she get her hands on it? What do you mean she dropped it?
She dropped it. She said it was an accident. Her back gave out. Like, I think she dropped it on purpose.
I don't understand what you. How did she drop it? How did she have it?
I'm sorry. So she went and bought the new TV, which, for the record, I have the receipt. It was, she bought it. I'm not denying that.
Did she have it delivered?
She had it delivered, and she scheduled at a time that was a little bit inconvenient for both.
Not I. We agreed on a scheduled time.
I mean, I was very pressured by you, the way you pressure Kevin. I'm a little scared. You smashed my TV. I don't want to, mess with you. I don't know what you're capable of. So I went along with the time she selected, or pressured me to select, which was about 4:30. I hit terrible traffic, sir. It's LA. You know how it goes. Crazy pile up.
He was scared that he'd come home. That's what that was. Go ahead.
It might have been what it is. So she texts me and she's like, I got to go to work or something. I don't know what it was. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm in traffic. There's nothing I can do right now. I'm literally, it's not even stop and go. It's just stop. And she was like, I got to go. And I was like, you can't leave it out on the street. It's going to get stolen. So I pressured her to just carry it up the stairs, right? But I didn't tell her, like, you have to. Like, she could have asked someone for help. She carries up the stairs and just drops it. No one was there to see it happen. I think it might have been
Your
on
Honor,
purpose.
if I could, I have the text messages here.
You see them, please, Amir.
Yeah, and thank you. He says that he didn't force me to, but in the text messages you can see that he sort of gave me no option other than to carry it up myself. And I have...
What's your ETA? You said you'd be here 10 minutes ago. Got stuck in some bad traffic and running late. Map says 43 minutes. Vance, I have to leave before then. You said you'd be here for, well, just bring it upstairs on your own. I really need a second person to carry this. It's too heavy for me alone. You can't just abandon my TV outside. You need to make this right. You're just trying to get out of this. And so tell me what did happen.
So I had no option at that point. I had to go to a work event at 6. I had to leave. So there was no one else around. I tried to ask the delivery guy.
Why'd you have to try and take it upstairs? Why couldn't you just set it in the doorway?
So in the house, he had, I think...
I have a picture.
Yeah.
Can you see the picture of the house, please, Amir?
If I would have set the TV there, the door would have opened. It would have also smashed the TV. So there was no other option. I couldn't leave it at the bottom of the stairs. And I had no one to help me carry it, so I had to carry it up. And during it, I had a back spasm.
This story doesn't sound right. Here's a person that hates your guts, and you hate his guts. You have a back problem. He tells you to carry a large television upstairs because he doesn't want it to be left vulnerable because he's running late. Knowing you have a back problem, you say, okay, I'll risk my back. Might even be out for years with a back problem. May need surgery, may need repeated surgery, but he's worth it because I love him.
know you hate him, yet you do that. I'm going to conclude this is contributory negligence again. Sir, for you to ask her to take that upstairs was unreasonable. And for you to do it was also unreasonable. So we're going to split this judgment. Tell you what, I'm going to grant you $600, sir. That's your judgment, because you contributed to the destruction of that television by insisting that she take it upstairs, knowing that it risks damage or harm to her. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay Dylan Phillips is suing Nyla Lewis in the amount of $5,000. Mr. Phillips claims his ex-girlfriend intentionally injured him during an intimate moment between them and says he shouldn't be the one to pay for his medical bills.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. May all be seated. Judge, both litigants have been sworn in.
What?
Both litigants have been sworn in.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this case. Is this true? Sir, you are suing your ex-girlfriend for the cost of penile surgery.
Yes, sir, I am.
Saying she was too rough doing intimacy.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
And it caused fracture.
It did. And pain.
Right. I forgot to even ask y'all name. Did I ask their name? What's your name, sir?
My name is Dylan Phillips.
Poor thing. What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Nyla Lewis.
Give me some background first on your relationship, sir.
Well, we originally met in college. We went to Santa Monica College, and we wasn't really together in college. You know, we met up later afterwards. We ran into each other at a concert, and you know, we kind of rekindled and we started talking. We was together for about 5 years, and you know, during that time, we was together, but she wanted to get married, and I wasn't really ready to get married at that time. And
5 years, man. That's about the limit.
You let him know, man.
That's about the string out limit. After 5 years, it becomes stringing out.
Well, I mean, we was together for 5 years.
That don't have nothing to do with it.
It wasn't after 5. She wanted to get married after 5 days. So, like, I'm saying, like, it wasn't just 5 years. So, you know, I was still out, you know, having a little bit of fun, so to speak.
All right, at least you were honest with her.
Mm-mm.
And
it wasn't?
Nah, that's not what it was, but...
You tell me about the relationship. He's slow speaking. He must be nervous. You don't do nothing to him here. And maybe you think you need to get over that shit.
This is the first time I've seen her.
I don't blame you. That got to hurt.
It's pain. It's pain. You have never experienced such pain.
I don't want to either.
You don't.
I don't want to hear no more about that. I don't want to hear no more about that.
Listen, tell that to my heart, though.
I need some ice, let alone you. All right, so you tell me about the relationship, ma'am.
All right, so me and Dylan were together for about 5 years. Like he said, he's been cheating on me since day one, honestly. In my opinion, I feel like I caught him 5 months in our relationship, and I stayed. But that was my fault.
It wasn't even, I'm sorry. It was only 5 months. I don't know if you all had already made an exclusive.
This man was telling me he loved me already.
Or did he tell you were exclusive?
If you're telling me you love me, we more than exclusive. You need to put a ring on.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Who says that?
People who are in love and cheat.
Exactly.
People who are in love and see other women.
You're right.
If you haven't had that discussion, then no, I'm sorry, I used the wrong term. He's not cheating. He loves you and he's seeing other women, unless he tells you we are exclusive.
Add the fact that we weren't
or
yet
implied
intimate.
At least. Pardon?
And so add the fact we weren't yet intimate at this time. That took almost 7 or 8 months. So, yeah.
Okay, but he knew from the moment we met that I'm taking things slow because I came from a strict background, and I'm scared. I'm a little scared, I ain't gonna lie, but he continued the relationship, and we spent 5 years together.
How was
after
it?
How was it?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we here, right? We in here.
What does that mean?
It wasn't great. It wasn't the best relationship, but I loved him. He took care of me emotionally. He cared for my goals. He was a good man, other than the cheating.
How many times did you catch him cheating?
That we know of, that he knows that I know of. 5 times on the book, but off the record, I know about like 10 times.
In 5 years?
Yeah.
10 different women?
Well, 10 times
10
that he...
instances. A year he would mess around, or he would cheat on you.
That I know of. It wasn't even twice a year. Maybe it was every other weekend.
No, you just gave a number.
But it was...
You were very clear about the number you gave.
The
What
man
are you
was
talking
cheating
about
on me
every other
since-
weekend? You said 10 times that you
I know of.
Right, that's 5 years. That's twice a year. Now, anything you know of still doesn't
Listen, I ain't
equal
no
every other week.
mathematician, but
so
this
how
man
can
was
you say every
cheating.
other week? Where do you get that from?
Listen.
How you go from 10 times in 5 years to every other week? Got it. You just discredited yourself. Tell me why you're suing her. What happened?
She's a great person. I mean,
I know.
I support her dreams and everything. Like, I love, just being around her. But, like, in the bed, the intimacy just wasn't, it wasn't the 4th of July, So I had
That's a good one.
I had to go other places to get that. But like I said, we wasn't, in the beginning, we wasn't even having sex. So...
Yeah, it was unreasonable to think that you would meet her and only for the first 8 months don't even know her, don't have sex with you, and don't have sex with anyone. That was unreasonable, man.
Exactly. So, we went through that same song and dance of once we finally did start having sex, like it just wasn't, that great. So she just got really possessive and clingy, and then that's when the marriage talk came and this and that. And I'm like, just calm down. And she got really possessed. She started going through my phone with my social media, all my pictures and everything. And
you gave me the passwords.
That doesn't mean you have to go through my stuff. I mean, that's called trust.
Weekend, like I said, I'm going to check your phone.
Go ahead, sir.
From that point, like we broke up. Now, after we break up,
when was that?
This the first time.
What year?
It was still within the first year. Okay. So this probably was 11, almost a whole
first year.
But the thing is, like I said, the bedroom wasn't so good. But when we got back together, the makeup.
You keep saying that.
Great.
Now let me just stop you, man, because I'm not going to let you keep saying that. You couldn't make it happen. If it ain't no good, all you got to do, you should have been able to teach her a couple of tricks to make it right.
She's not that receptive.
You didn't know how to.
I sent her videos. I sent her a book. We watched movies. I said, hey, I like that. You want to try? She like, just no, I don't want to do it. Like, she just shut down every time.
That's not how you do it. That's not how you treat. That's not how you teach new tricks. You don't point it out on TV or something. You're talking about a video information tape. No, you move why in the midst of your intimacy. That's when you suggest these new things that you think will enhance it. Not reading it out of a book. See here, baby. See how they flipped and on the left hand he put his right on. No, you're in the midst of your intimacy. I mean, you say, baby, why don't you do this?
Judge, normally it's terrible. When we break up and make up, it's great. So it's in there. She knows how to do it. She wants to do it. Okay. For some reason, she just doesn't do it normally. And I'm just like, what's going on?
You don't know why?
Yes.
You don't know why? The first, you just go right into it. There's no getting slowly. I'm a woman. You got to take time with me. And you know that. I said that multiple times. Have you ever? Do you listen?
Quick draw McGraw.
What? Like,
well, I mean,
what, I'm gonna read the artifact?
I mean, but what are we arguing about? You stayed, so obviously it was,
you're right.
You got shot quick and it was
I'm not
okay.
there no more though.
Well,
I got smarter.
That's why we're here.
I got smarter, right? Look at me now.
Actually, you didn't.
I did, obviously, because I ain't with you.
Oh yeah, because of what you did. Judge.
Broke that thing. Go ahead. Let me hear what happened. Let me hear what happened.
I'm pretty sure it ain't never gonna work the same. Okay.
So I don't know.
Sure they gonna never
I'm
go
pretty
work.
sure it ain't.
I don't know what got
ever
into
work the
her,
same.
but after we, broke up, made up a few times, we finally had to talk and say, hey, either we're gonna do this or we're not, and we decided to do it. So we got serious. Now, when we got serious, everything just went back to being boring and boring and boring. So
it's called routine. It's called a life. It's called being an adult. Who got time to be playing and partying all the time?
I don't know what got into her, but one day she came and she looked different, like totally different. I'm talking about her hair was different, her whole swag was different, she walked different, she talked different. It was like a totally different person.
All right.
She planned a date.
Good.
We went out to the club, we had drinks, she was dancing sexily on me. It was like,
Doing
man,
her best.
Yes, we had drinks, we went home, and it's like she was role playing, and the role just kept continuing. And we got in the bedroom. Now this time, it was definitely the 4th of July. I mean, it was great. It was going wonderfully, and she just kept getting more and more rough. And I was like, ease up a little bit. Yeah, rough. But I mean, at first I liked it, but it just got a little belligerent.
See, now I'm confused. I thought he liked it.
Pardon me?
I said now I'm confused because I thought he liked that.
He did say that. He said it was fireworks.
Yes, I did like it until I didn't. What happened was, I told her to ease up, and she said, you liked it when Keisha was doing it.
He did.
And I'm like...
Today, on Real Verdict, a friendship takes a turn when generosity meets manipulation. What happens when helping a friend turns into losing your home, your peace, and your identity?
Good afternoon. We have the plaintiff, Maya Harris, who claims she let her friend move in temporarily, but that temporary turned into a full-blown takeover. And we have the defendant, Chloe Rivers, who says she was invited to stay, and that Maya's just upset because she couldn't control her household anymore. We'll hear from both sides. Maya, you go first.
Your Honor, Chloe and I have been friends for 5 years. She told me she got evicted and just needed a place for 2 weeks tops. That was 6 months ago.
6 months? And did you agree to that extended stay?
No! She slowly took over everything. She rearranged my furniture, invited her boyfriend to sleep over without asking, even brought a dog into my apartment. I'm allergic.
Did she contribute to the rent or bills?
Not a dime. She'd say, I'll cover next month. But it never happened.
Your Honor, Maya is exaggerating. Yes, I stayed longer than planned, but she said I could. I lost my job. I was trying to get back on my feet.
Did you offer any payment for rent or expenses?
I cleaned the place, bought groceries, and I was there for her emotionally. She was going through a breakup.
Did she ever tell you to leave?
Once, but it was during an argument. I thought she didn't mean it.
Do you have any messages, agreements, anything in writing?
Here are texts where I asked her to leave. 3 separate times.
Hey, it's time you start looking for another place. This isn't working.
I thought that was just frustration. She never gave me a deadline.
Here's the truth. Kindness was taken for granted. Maya, you opened your home out of goodwill. Chloe, you overstayed and ignored clear communication. You are hereby ordered to vacate Maya's apartment within 7 days. And for occupying the space rent-free for 6 months, you owe her $2,400, based on her rent breakdown and utilities. Let this be a lesson. Friendship is no excuse to disrespect boundaries.
A friend in need, or a freeloader in disguise. The line between help and harm isn't always clear. On Real Verdict, justice finds the truth. Subscribe to The Real Verdict for more real courtroom drama. New episodes daily.